Hey everybody, this is Grimcad, and we are back with some more D&D Thursdays with the Shifting City 5e Dungeons & Dragons. We did not play last week, but the week before that, we played. I think we played. I'm pretty sure we played. But either way, I don't remember anything that happened practically. So I need a recap.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z. Honestly, I think we just got to the gate. We talked to people. We had Strom totally show up and take the Foggy Myth from us.
Mm-hmm.
We got Coin's legs fixed by giving my dragon to Scav. And then we gave her a blood hag head and something in the universal solvent, I think, or
Yes.
something, to raise Skarg from the dead, and he is currently a nugget.
Yes.
Do Rat House have him? Or is he with
Yes.
us?
Speaking of which, I'm going to pull off the universal solvent from
Party loot.
the party loot.
We gave them
Now,
the magic.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
We gave the magic mirror to the Rat Forest leader, who he might have pissed off a little bit. He's angry but happy at us.
Yes.
And Troll, we just kept telling Troll what happened. He's like, "Good job, you're doing fine." Are you sure, Troll? Are you sure?
I'd like to think that Troll sort of just underestimated things.
We burned the orphanage down, Troll. Good job.
Did you make any money?
What were the Rat Houses like? How did they react in general? Was it kind of like a this shit happens, business happens, you guys have at least paid out your debts, or are they kind of like, you guys were a bad call, we're not gonna, fuck with you?
They were very upset with it. You've done some mitigating of issues, but they're not a people to take failure very lightly, and they think that you guys failed. They didn't go into detail and yell at you or anything like that. They decided to wait until next session to sort of do that, but they certainly made their displeasure known. But at the same side, they also they definitely gave you some mixed signals, because they were definitely like, hey, good job, you've managed to make quite a bit of profit. And that's fantastic. You got us, an artifact. You managed to pull in something very godlike, if not a god. That's impressive. But even those wondrous feats, you dropped the ball. You got our people hurt. And that's something they take very seriously.
What about...
We got your nigh immortal regenerating people hurt.
Skag's not dead.
What about our quote-unquote friends of Rat House, like Skarg, Chol, Kith, them?
Well, Vex is gonna shank us now.
You've been told from the other people that Vex is not likely going to take things happily. Now, the last time you were told that, Skarg was still dead.
I got a call coming in. AFK
Sure.
for a minute.
This was before Skarg got raised, so this was under the impression that Skarg was still dead.
Alright, so what about Skarg? Skarg and Kith.
Skarg is still out of it, as last we left. We paid a lot to get him raised, and we poured a lot of otherwise magical healing stuff into him while raising it, and it still barely just worked. He's sort of in overload, trying not to die mode, and is unconscious.
Yeah.
The next thing, before we even jump into more stuff, because there was a tiny bit more, Tadpole and Guts were attacked on their way attempting to deliver the message that they had gotten the god. I think that was last episode.
Yeah, that was last episode.
And so things in the city are getting demonstrably bad. We were told by one of the captains of the guard.
Stromtoli.
Was it Stromtoli?
Yeah.
You know, that's funny because I started laughing because I thought you said Stromboli. And I heard you say Stromtoli, but then I thought Stromtoli was the wrong name and that it was actually Stromboli.
Wow.
just
So,
out
like-
of reflex, you know.
Okay, Janie, and whenever we meet him next, make sure you prepare a nice hot batch of Stromboli for him.
I've had a day.
It's 11:30 a.m.
Man, tell me about it.
So which one is
You
the
don't know what Groom's got to deal with, man.
So with that, he has told you that if you are interested in looking into what's going on in the city, and he is also encouraging you to do so, that you need to get a hold of a figure called Thorgrom the Magnificent. That he is sort of leading up the efforts to sort of take the city back under control, as it were. He's actually, at the very least, not a lot of details were given to you, but he is attempting to make some sort of actual city-sponsored effort to get the city back to where it needs to be. The next thing is that you guys have a choice about coming into your money, and this is something that I posted in the Discord about how much moolah you'll be getting if you look up to like the 15th of October. You can see that all in all your trip cost you about 29,000 gold, and that you are making anywhere from 5,000 to 11,000 gold in profit. But that depends basically on what you do with your raw ingredients with which you can make potions from. They're going to be a thing that it takes a long time to put into potion form, and at the current you does not have any way to process it or necessarily the know-how to process it into its potion form. This is something that you'd probably have to look on hiring someone to do and all that. So I guess the question is, are you just going to forego that and go for the quick profit right now, or are you going to hold on to it in order to make the maximum profit?
That's not including the frog hemoth.
Correct. That's like entirely on its own, you know. Because
So basically, do you want
whatever
like
reason,
5,000 more gold or not? I think. Is that what we're saying?
yes.
Well, I know I said I wanted the herbs and stuff like that, but I'll forego them if I can take the seeds instead. Because we can just mass sell all the herbs and stuff, the things that we can't
Yeah,
really use
got it.
just yet, and then seeds will take time to grow anyway, and then
On that note,
Right now, it's a
Yeah.
matter of what you want to do with these things. Like, are
Yeah,
you
I'm-
looking to take the seeds and turn them into a long-term
that's what I was thinking. anyway.
thingy-majigger? Man,
Yes.
I can't. Investment,
I mean-
or are you looking to get a quick buck?
I mean, it'd only be losing out on 250 if Janian could take the 10 seeds, the 5
Okay, I'm
poison,
back.
and 5 paralytic.
the seeds from them, not the actual herbs.
Yeah, no, we can sell the actual herbs.
Are
for
we
now.
going over
I've
what we're
still
selling?
got-
Is that what we're doing right now?
Yes, we're sort of really just beginning to talk about what to do with the cash we've got.
I'd
And
like
whether...
to know.
Well, I got all kinds of ideas what to do with the cash.
We're not making a giant golden statue you can live in.
No, I want
No,
a big golden toilet.
God, we don't
I
even
want
have
Ed.
plumbing.
I want at most 10,000 so I can get some enchanted plate armor.
I can do both of those in like a week. At like a tenth of that cost.
Okay.
Works for me.
I was gonna say, if we're keeping the seeds and stuff, On the note of the house, why don't we get a little upgrade called the garden? Takes 2 weeks to make. It's 500 gold. Every month it makes. We can harvest it for potions or poison herbs.
Yep. I'd be keen on that.
With something like that, you will have to pay for a druid. As I mentioned before, things don't grow very well without druidic help. It's not uncommon to do, but it is something that you will have to do.
How much extra coin we talking about?
It sort of
Do I have to go-
depends. I mean,
Do I have to take his legs again?
Would the hags be able to make the superior?
I mean, I was just thinking because it's only like 10 seeds. Just get a couple of pot plants and
No, you need
glass.
you still need
glass.
druids.
yeah, I know.
So is the party loot thing updated and accurate now?
No idea. The company balance is updated, but I just put the max in. So basically, we're taking the. What's the difference between this fucking price? Let me do some math.
like, very comfortably, you got, 3,000 profit without touching into the seeds. I don't know exactly what it is, subtracting all the, seeds from it or anything. But you've also got, 60k from, the Froghemoth itself. So, I mean, you could very easily treat that as...
Well, that's after the profit margin, right?
Yeah.
Would the hags be able to make the superior potion?
They could learn
They
to. They can't make it on their own. They can easily, well, not easily, but they can make a regular healing potion, but they cannot make a superior healing potion. It takes them about 3 days to make a singular healing potion.
And let's talk about turning some profit. I got Fabricate now. We just sell a lot of nice swords at crafting price, Make some more money.
The question really is that, are we as a party ready to start working on the logistics behind things and start making money like that? Or are we more interested in beefing ourselves up so we can go out and hopefully get more? What it all boils down to at the end of the day, I believe.
Actually, I'm in favor of beefing just because it also increases our survivability.
Yeah, if we're going to be in danger, whether we're in the city or out of the city, we should be focusing on shoring ourselves up than worrying about making money. We can always make more money on the side.
I had an idea for Tadpole, magic
Mhm.
item wise. A custom magic item. It's like 2 rods of what's it called again? Immovable rods? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a chain between them. You can kind of retract or decide like a grappling hook. Both sides got switches for each other side. You can just swing them around and they'll just stay in place. You can make a lad climb up it, or grappling hook, or make it like a tightrope to walk across kind of thing.
Instead of chain, climbing rope.
Oh god.
A rope of climbing.
Rope of climbing.
I
Didn't we just
mean,
get one of them?
Oh, on that note, Grim, how much would it take to enchant my spellbook to be enduring? It's a common magic item.
Which does what?
It makes it so you can't burn or drown my spellbook.
Not much. I'll be honest, that's not a thing I'm likely going to do anyway. Because that's cheap and dickish, really. And
I've literally had
Hardest meta move
now mind you,
to do is
that wasn't a good DM. He was really railroady and stuff. He literally had me get kidnapped 3 sessions in, lost all my shit. Said I didn't say I had a second spellbook anywhere, so I lost all my spell. And then he made me escape randomly into the wilderness buck naked.
Yeah. That's not really the spirit of this game.
Grim, I think that's a great idea. I would pay to see that.
Next time, the animated spellbook.
So let's go ahead and actually put it to a vote. And of course, Guts isn't here, so, but oh well. Who is in favor of spending at least the bulk of the cash towards beefing themselves up?
Me.
I'm okay with
Yeah.
that.
So it's pretty much unanimous then.
Yeah,
All
Yep.
right.
and I think Guts would be the same because she's in.
I like
Oh.
surviving.
where she needs
I
to
had
be.
ideas for Guts too. I want to start
Everybody
scrim
likes shiny.
Start scrim showing some extra pieces for Guts that are magic. We can just swap in and out like a transformer. Give her some magic gems for eyes, you know,
I like it.
that shoot fireballs.
So ultimately, whether I use Adrian or not, what's it cost for a +1 plate armor?
One sec. I think we. What did we decide on steel being? Twice or 3 times as much as iron?
3x. I think we said it at one point, but man, do I hate searching for Discord.
God, I'll just go with. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's still cheaper.
And Grim, you saw my note to you about my wish list, right?
Yes.
Okay. Again, I don't expect to get all of them, even maybe get 1 or 2 or whatever. Just wish list.
I just want that 10k in spells right there. I need. Why? No, Mind Spike's technically psychic damage, Shadow Bite's psychic damage, Shadow's thunder. That's enough diversity, right? I already have blue, I think, actually.
Man, like, if you were to buy it straight out, I think we said it would be something around the lines of, like, 8 to 10k, but man, I don't see it.
No, that is way.
Wasn't
way
it?
over
For
what you
the
said.
finished product. Like,
Oh, yeah, for
not
the
going
finished.
through you.
I think it was less than like 1k. Let's just say it's 3 times the cost of iron.
It sounds fine.
Hey, on the party loot, it says Skarg loot. Is that stuff that was returned to Skarg?
Mostly, I think.
Yes.
At this exact moment in time, we have not returned Skarg to the Ratful.
Okay, cool.
Okay. We're gonna give him his gear and stuff.
I think we ought to say some of the gear
Didn't
was
we
lost
return-
or damaged or used, like those superior
Didn't we
healing potions.
return them?
I don't think he'd mind about the healing potions, but we have to give him his daggers and stuff. But
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
pretty sure we already gave back the rat house. Has one, the tentacle dagger.
yeah,
But I think Tadpole
you know what?
has his other dagger.
You might be right, because I do remember having a conversation. So I think you did give Skarg back to the folks.
Yeah, because we gave the mirror to the rat folk at the same time.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense that you would give it
Oh.
to them, then try to get him healed. You would have
Oh,
done
Tornado just died.
that first. Yeah, I see you all just crashed.
No, it's
We're
it disconnected us.
I didn't. I'm still in.
Yeah, we're all still in, but we're
Yeah,
not
I'm
in
here.
each other.
Oh, well, try hitting
I'm
refresh.
And then
Okay, so, I mean, at this point, regardless of what I said before, we have given Skarg to the people. We have given the Black Dagger. He would not... the matriarch would not have specifically asked for the others of Skarg's items, so it's a question right now whether or not you gave it to them freely or you kept it.
Kept it.
We had
Yeah.
given it to Tadpole.
give it- yeah.
Okay.
What?
Who
What?
gives Skargs?
You guys crazy?
It was the dagger repair.
Yes.
No, I'm talking about the superior healing potions and stuff like that.
I don't believe Skarg had superior healing
That's
potions.
20 superior healing potion herbs, not the,
That's
I
not
guess
it.
not the potion.
That's a separate thing.
Yeah,
Only the
those we
first
didn't-
2 lines are what Skarg had with him.
Oh. Okay, well then I'm okay with that.
That's just not very well kept up party loot sheet.
And Grim, was I able to find like an arquebus or some kind of cannon or something?
The fuck you do?
You could probably find an arquebus.
Nice.
So he had 2 rings of shield, though.
Yes, he did.
What are shielding?
Basically, it works as a 1 time per day casting of the shield spell. So you use reaction, and it gives you a +5 to your AC and /or negates any magic missiles cast on you for the round.
Wouldn't mind having one of those. Well, we gave them back to him, right?
Well, that's what I'm asking. The items that are in question are those 2 rings and the dagger of shielding. I know we gave the quote-unquote black dagger back.
Yeah.
But this is a you question because they're in your possession at the moment.
I'm okay taking one of those rings and putting it on my toe in my shoe.
I mean, like, I feel like if I got a chance to, I might try and just pocket one.
The DM don't have a problem with you guys keeping them for yourself. I mean, it's just whether at some point someone will come around asking for it or whatever.
Yeah. I'll pocket one of those rings.
Okay. Can we just simplify and say we're going to keep all of it and then divvy it out later? Or
Sure.
are you only going to keep one?
I think we were returning the daggers, right? What are we doing?
Now, is Skarg the one that had all of his...
Well, wait,
Limbs
let's
cut
give
off?
him
Yes.
That
back
was the
to
one that we
Ryan.
had.
Oh, well, then there's our out. Yeah, sorry. The rings were on the fingers. Fingers are gone. Hence, the rings are gone.
Okay.
There we go.
We at least need to give them back the Rat House dagger.
Yes.
So I'd say we're keeping at least the 2 rings.
Okay. You've given the one dagger back, which frankly you guys didn't have a ton of use for, which required, health sacrifice to reactivate. And you're keeping the other dagger, which I think somebody actually wound up throwing into their stat list, so all good. Alright, so we're pretty much good with bulking up. I got a list of items from Tadpole. Janian obviously wants to get his plate.
Plate,
and
arquebus, and hammer.
Arquebus,
And
which
if
I'm going to have to look up some stats for.
+1 on the arquebus.
Adrian was looking for spells,
Yeah.
but other than that, were you looking for anything specific, like equipment-wise, or?
Give me like 3 minutes.
Okay, and then Rick. You're pretty beefy already, so you're probably thinking more utility items, armory items.
Which again, I can make you.
My
In all
token
fairness,
updated for some reason.
I've been sort of thinking of a belt of giant strength of some sort. But I think a rare one is only 21 strength, and I think I should just wait until I can get a very rare.
Aren't you at like 20 strength already?
Yeah, I'm at 20 strength, so 21's not that much of a bonus.
Yeah.
Like, if I wait till I can get a bearer or a legendary, I could get 25 or 29.
The last short bow that I shall fire. And it was a
God.
mistake.
It's kind of hard to actually find things that are the good utility for me.
Alright, Janian.
Yes.
Narcubus, not incredibly difficult to find.
Enchanting it to a +1 as well. I know that it would make
Not
the lid.
incredibly difficult to do. It does add to the price.
Oh, good. I don't think I'm asking to borrow too much, even with that.
I just dropped like 10k on spells.
Exactly. Like, mine's at most going to be 2k.
Oh, it's not even going to be quite that much unless you're also
That's-
looking for magical ammo.
That's okay. I'll make up the difference with my spending bill.
Okay.
God.
You can get the Arquebus for $9.25, and I'd also appreciate it if you would write this either into Roll20 chat or the Discord chat. And I'll give you the stat block for it right now too, which you can load into whatever. +1 gives you 925, weighs 12 pounds. It does 1d10 piercing damage, +1 of course. It is heavy. It's got the annoying reloading penalty. It's two-handed, and it's got a range of 100/400.
Yeah, I just turned into my little panzer.
Oh god. So on a note, Grim, how much is would a rare item be? Specifically, a staff of healing.
Kind of depends, but rare, you're generally looking at starting out around 1,500 and then going up. A staff of healing, you could probably get for right around that 1,500. I mean, healing is one of those common things that everybody does, even when there's not a combat use to it, you know.
The 2 zeros or 3 zeros?
1,500.
Okay. Top my
How
bill
much
off at
Do
1.1.
very rare things cost?
Well, very rare things probably start right around anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000.
Ooh, a staff of power.
And then
Like
legendary
a
start
like a
around
belt of fire?
10.
Oh, well, in that case, can I get a bout of returning as for my boomerangs?
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I mean, the basic item works for daggers and stuff. I'm just asking if Grim would let me
Well,
add
sure.
my boomerangs to that, since I could just belt.
DD, which of those on the list is like priority, or do you have a priority for it? Like the Wand of Magic Missile's pretty
Are you asking
easy
me?
to get around. Yeah.
Something for my strength, probably, and maybe the
This is some ogre
the bracelets
goblins.
of defense, maybe.
So in the strength gauntlet, it's gonna be 19, the uncommon.
The Belt of Hill Giant Strength is going to cost you 17.
Okay.
The
100 or 1,000?
What are the
1,700.
what are the other?
Okay.
What was that?
What are the other belts of giant strength?
They
What?
increment up at about 300 a pop. So,
Oh, is that all?
yeah,
Oh, hell.
for the most part. I mean, as you get towards Fire Giant,
Storm
of course,
Giant!
the legendary ones are very expensive.
How much would a storm giant cost?
Like,
Or should I just get a fire?
you're looking at 15k, so it's doable for you guys right now, but
Just guys, do we want me to be super strong? Or should I just get a fire giant? It's 25
I'm
strength.
trying to think of what I can do to show myself up if we're
like,
spending
you guys
this
got a
much on-
lot of money right now, you know?
I mean, I'm just trying to.
Okay,
budget
so a
little-
fire giant, then
You
that
don't
would
need
be
to.
2,300, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Is
for
that
now, just
Librum or the Manual of Quickness of Action? What is that going to go for?
That's one I gotta look up. Manual
does
of
anyone
Quickness
know?
of Action.
Does anyone mind if I use the party profit to get a fire giant belt for 2.3k?
Not doing go hard, man.
Manual of Quickness of Action is probably gonna cost you 4,000.
Okay, that's probably not my.
We all
But
get
I'll
fire
let them-
giant belts. Bench press people.
I
Amulet of
mean,
Health?
We could easily all get them.
Amulet of Health is one I said before. I think it was right around 2,000.
Sometimes, if we're spending a large amount of money on ourselves, like 10 plus K properly, then yeah, I'll look at some other things.
Does anyone mind if I just grab some utility uncommon items? Oh, the common Tankard of Sobriety. We use it in drinking contests against dwarves.
Bracers of Defense? 'Cause I really need to increase my AC.
Yeah, we kind of saw that.
What's your AC at the moment?
16,
What's your dexterity?
19.
It's +4.
Yeah.
No, you'd have. If you had started with leather, you'd have 17, I think.
If I did what?
Studded
I'd still, you broke it up. I didn't hear what you said.
Studded leather.
I can't wear leather. I have unarmored movement.
That affect that?
Yeah, I can't wear any armor. I got unarmored defense and unarmored movement as a monk thing.
1,800.
Okay. Let me see here.
And how much did this javelin cost me?
I don't know. Somewhere between 6 and 8, I think. I think that was it. I don't remember. It might have been more.
It is an uncommon.
Yeah.
If it's alright, I might slap a ring of regeneration and a belt of returning on my
You got it.
list too. Because rings very rare, so that's only a couple of.
One of these days I'm going to get in the ball and just make a spreadsheet about this so I can look it up when I need
I could
to.
recommend you the, what's it called? Someone made a spell sheet, but they don't have all the items. Some are just cheesy. I forgot what they called it, though. Sane magic item prices. That's what they called it. It was made like 4 years ago.
Well, you know, inflation.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
For example, for this, let's go with where we bought so far. We can give a comparison.
No, way higher than that.
Yeah, but for this, a Javelin Lightning would be twice as much, for example, if you use this list, stuff like that.
What does it say it is on that list? Just for
On this list, this is what they themselves marked it as, mind you, not anything official.
sure.
They have it as 1,500.
Oh,
But so is the Bracers Archery, the Circlet Blasting, the Wind Fan.
I'm pretty sure
the
you got
whip.
much less than that.
Yeah. I think it was 800, give or take, honestly.
I think it was 800 too. We can say it was 800.
How much would, fuck, what's I looking at? A Broom of Flying, which is uncommon, and an Alchemy Jug, which is uncommon B.
Broom of Flying, you're probably looking at 20. Because flying is strong.
1,000 or 100?
100.
Or 2,000?
Yes.
What the Alchemy Jug?
The Alchemy Jug, I'm not super familiar with.
So once a day, it can make things. Let me find it. Alchemy Jug, once a... Oh, it's not available there, that's stupid. Looking it up in Roll20. Alchemy Jug, it's not in here.
I see it.
Jug, what did they name it? It's...
I see it as Alchemy Jug. Once a day, you can name a liquid and pour out X amount of it. And it lists acid, poison, beer, honey, mayonnaise, oil, vinegar, fresh water, salt water, and wine. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Would you have it on the compendium?
No, I just did a Google search for it, and it brought up like Aid D&D.
Oh, I know that thing.
Is that token updated for anyone, or is it still showing up as my old one?
You have to drag it back
It's
up.
updated.
Chat.
So, approximately how much do we have gold per person? Because I don't want to.
Well, that's the thing. You haven't really done like that. I
I
mean,
think we're just divvying it up as we go, honestly.
So
Yeah.
ask for how much you need, and
Well,
chances
there's
are
a
you
between
get
need
that.
and want. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's a lot of things I think would be fun to have, but I don't need. But if we have lots of gold, I could find uses for them. But I don't want to also hoard the gold. So,
you guys easily made 60K plus divided by 5 people. That's 12,000 per person.
okay. So I would not feel bad if I spent 12,000 on stuff.
How much would the Alchemy Jug be?
The Alchemy Jug, something that creates, so you're looking at 17 again.
Damn, I should just make this. What about the, what a Brooch of Shielding?
Hold on, let me look up this
Resistant to
Ring
force
of
damage.
Regeneration first.
Okay. I'm gonna go look at Steam team. Next week, guys, a week from tomorrow, Outer Worlds comes out.
Ring of Regeneration, you're looking at about 4,000.
That is okay.
Okay, and what was the one, Adrian? The
Brooch of Shielding, uncommon.
Brooch is a weird word.
Brooch.
Brooch.
Yeah, what weird stuff does that wiki have? I want to look at that.
I don't know. I just typed it into Google. And it the first thing that popped up with it. Brooch of Shielding, you're only looking at about 1,000.
And
That's my entire shopping list there. Those 4 items.
that's the plate mail I'm making, so it's like not even that much.
Cheaper, yeah.
Yeah.
How
Belt
much?
of Returning. Hold on. I don't think that's going to be expensive. But things
Yeah.
surprise me. Oh, it is a little bit more than I wanted. Or thought. Alright, so just to make sure we're looking at the same thing, Belt of Returning, you can store X many items in it that'll return, and however many you choose sort of affects the price.
I just want 2.
Okay. For 2, you can do it at 1,500, 1,500.
Yeah, that's fine.
What do you reckon the price of a ring of keys is? I linked it in Roll.
Ring of keys. Let me see. Non-magical while wearing it. To cast a knock. Uh, 2,000.
I think I figured out how I'm going to spend my entire 12k.
How?
Well,
I'm gonna go get some coffee. I'll be right back.
Potion of Fire Giant Strength, Belt of Fire Giant Strength, a Ring of Keys, and instead of javelins, I'm gonna change them all to Javelin Lightning. So I'm gonna have 10 lightning bolts to throw around.
Nice. Just turn into Zoo.
Lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. Isn't that
So,
the
are you-
wizard's job?
Say that's my job.
Are you gonna start fucking everything with a pulse?
Yeah.
What?
Well, if you're turning into Zeus,
I
must make
Demigod.
We just cast a psychic spell on him to just drop him dead.
so yeah, I've still got like 5-6k left.
And I'm eventually gonna buy a potion of
You
storm.
can your weapons and
Guys.
stuff if you want.
29 strength.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe get a nice strong repair beyond plus just a basic +1.
Everyone should get it. Like, they're so cheap. Everyone should have those.
Should get a flame tongue or something.
Could be up.
No, even a sunblade's only rare. Sort of life-stealing rare.
So the
Yeah,
other
20.
thing that you may not be considering with your money are things along the lines of henchmen and things like that too. So that may be something you want to consider.
What was that?
Bitches.
Like henchmen and whatnot.
Oh yes, that's actually a good point.
Why do
I
we need living
actually didn't
henchmen?
think
We got
about
all
that.
these undead henchmen. We got Harry,
'Cause
Larry,
They're,
got
they're
Solomon,
dumb,
we got Gary, we got Franz and Hans.
but they're dumb. We could also like get smart.
I'm
hirelings.
pretty sure the skeletons are as smart as Zush. Let's be honest.
So Grim, those couple rings here, jumping, protection. If you're not doing anything right
Sorry.
now. No, if you are, that's fine. If you're, I kind of jumped in the middle. I don't know if
No,
what you're doing.
it's fine. I just got to write down. Okay, so rings of jumping.
Jumping and protection. I guess, and warmth while you're at it. I just got a hunch snow's going to be in our future somewhere. down the road.
Why would you think that?
I don't know. And as a reptile, I don't know. Call me
Fine.
silly.
How much is a ring of warmth on that note?
I'll get to it in a second. Ring of
That's-
jumping, only 800.
Okay. Protection and warmth.
As well, only 800.
Okay. For the warmth, what about
Warmth.
protection as well? Okay.
Protection. Protection is going to be 1,000.
Okay.
No, I'm not kidding. How much is the boot of the Winterlands? It's like a ring of warmth for your feet.
Boot of the Winterlands. Das Boot.
Das Boot.
Yeah, it's basically. Yeah, well, you also ignore. and have resistance, so it's going to be along the lines of 1,000.
I'm okay with that.
I'm just saying, that's a lot of javelins, you know.
He is Zeus. He's got a quiver of lightning bolts on his back.
And last one, Stone of Good Luck.
Okay, I gotta add all my spells. Shit.
At 800.
Okay. I know you said at one time one of magic missiles. What are those going for?
8 as well.
Okay.
They're pretty common.
Okay.
Vorpal Sword? Vorpal Sword?
Vorpal Sword? First, I gotta see how Vorpal Sword works in 5e, man.
Yeah, how does that work?
I'm not even used
I'm
to a
pretty sure,
3rd edition
like,
Vorpal
On
Sword.
a crit or something.
Let's see. It's a +3 attack and damage rolls. It ignores resistance to slashing. If it has at least a head and you roll a crit, you cut off the head.
OP.
Pretty strong. If it doesn't have a head, or it doesn't need a head, it takes an extra 68 slashing.
God.
Are you looking at the longsword version of it?
A scimitar, because
A
I can
scimitar
finesse
version.
it. Plus, I've got to have finesse and light for all my dueling and my AC burn.
Well, that one is legendary, so you're looking at, 10,000.
Only 10,000?
I'd be using about 15 all up.
Ouch.
But I'm happy to sell off my enchanted rapier and my scale mail.
I was wondering if we save some money, we can probably sell some stuff I make for some more money.
Okay.
You know, I'll hold off on the Vorpal. I'll just hold on to my other 6 odd K.
All right.
Let's invest that back into the economy.
Yeah, that's basically what I was planning. Get a head start on my restaurant. But I think we're going to be living an aristocratic lifestyle for a bit.
Well, I think you've already been living fairly decently. I'd like to think, anyways. So I think most of the buying is out of the way for the moment, at least. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those 2 rings that we got off of Skarg, who
Mhm.
wants to take? I would like to take one if somebody doesn't care,
Is
but
it,
if not,
is it an AC bonus? Because if it's an AC bonus, fuck yes, I
It's
do.
not. It's like a 1-day use of the shielding spell. Yeah, and they do stack. You could wear each. Both of them.
well, what's your AC?
My AC is currently 23.
Oh, okay.
So again, it's
Listen.
a reaction. Then you gain
Imagine if it was
+5.
28 for one turn. Haha.
28 AC for one turn would be freaking hasty.
Do you want to get in a fist fight for them?
Oh God.
Sure, fist fight. I'm all for it.
Nah, you will lose that, Fraser or Rick.
Oh no.
Well, just because he has the same belt as me and 3 more attacks than me.
That's all. That's all.
And he can literally just kite you.
It's the mobility thing that does it.
Yeah.
No,
The mobility is what will
I
rule.
think they have the same mobility.
Oh no. I got the mobile
Oh,
feet
no.
and a speed of 50.
He's good. Yeah, he's good speed.
Yeah, Tadpole can keep up like 100 feet of movement while attacking and not having a chance to be hit. What?
That's all. Fist fight.
But yeah,
Fist of the North.
Now, if you
Yeah,
allowed
definitely.
weapons, it might be a very different story.
Well, yeah, no.
Yeah. If weapons were allowed, any of us would be able to have much of a chance against Spirit.
All right, so
I mean, if I managed to like grab him when I attacked him, he wouldn't be able to get away. But he's pretty fun. He's just all over the place.
yeah, it does not have a lot in the way of hit points, but
With my belt of not for belt. What am I? Amulet of Health. It helps quite a bit. I'll get an additional 3 times 7. I'll get an additional 21 hit points. Okay, so I'm actually spending some of my personal gold to get the last item I want. Did you need us to go over what we're going to get and send them to you, or what do you want us to do?
if you would please, it doesn't
Personal
matter
chat
if
or
it's. It can be just here in the chat.
Okay.
I posted mine up a little
Yeah,
bit.
I
more,
saw
just
it.
minus the price.
Xanathar spells. I have to put them in manually.
Let's see. Oh,
Manual spells.
And yeah, I am totally buying what I said. And
By the way, the Arquebus ammo, not exactly cheap. It's like a gold a shot.
And that's unenchanted or
That
enchanted?
is unenchanted.
Sheesh. Alright, well,
It's
I'll
about
buy.
10 gold a shot for enchanted, which, I mean, isn't awful, but it ain't great.
I mean, when you say enchanted, is it just to have an extra +1 on it, or
Yeah,
enchanted as in like I can basically have free casts of my arcane archer spells? Because
No.
if it's free casts of my arcane archer spells, fuck yes.
Yeah, I'm afraid not.
and that is spending 12. See here. I'm going to spend basically the 1,200. I actually 21, but I'm going to give back 100 gold of mine own gold
Okay.
to cover it. Now I've got to do all this, add this all to my character sheet.
So, come up with how much you're selling, so we can tally it all up, and then we can take away appropriately from the party loot sheet as well.
I think I'm at. How much was the? Nope. Let me fix my page.
Do we want to sell anything else in our party loot? We got a lot of stuff in there.
Any general like non-magic.
Yeah, we got
armors,
like
weapons,
8 suits of chain shirts, 7 shields, 2 scimitars, 2 leather suits, 8 spears.
Oh, well, we've also, if we're going to hire hirelings, we can equip them for free out of that. That was the thing. So
Oh, I see. Okay.
I reckon we hold on to that and keep that in our army.
1200. I am at 1100 at the moment. I get on a spell at 1400. I have 600 gold left. want to pocket that 600. I think.
Did we do anything to those Bulette corpses, or are you just keeping
We
those as
sold
a...
them. I
Sold
think
them. Yeah.
Okay, cool, good.
we have the dragon still, the little one. You want to ride him?
So, and you took into consideration the 2,900 from the fish next to the hags. It says 2,900 gold pieces, 100 platinum pieces.
We did not. You have more than this. This is just the bit from the Froghemoth that we were working with right here. So
Got it. Okay, so we're not doing too bad.
Mentioning
so-
we want to flood the market with nice plate mails.
For now, though, I think that's a good amount of spending and everything. Everything else we can keep around for if we need to hire stuff, pay for stuff, start businesses. That's
And of course, it'll take Adrian a couple of days to actually make your plate. So
No. It'll take 10 minutes.
I thought it still took like 3 days to enchant
10
and all
minutes.
that.
Oh, enchanting, yeah, it took time to enchant and not to make it, though.
Yeah.
I thought you meant, like, putting it together.
No.
I have the Iron Stone of Sustenance, so I can just be a freaking weave and fade my attic all day.
Just be a robot.
well, we could also just, like take half a week or a week off.
Well, we have how
Yes,
many days
and
until the
doing
ship?
that.
It is the 23rd day right now.
So it'll be exactly enough time to
Yeah.
make it.
Exactly. Anyone who wants to see us before that time can come see us. And I mean, my personal vote is not to go out this next shift and to deal with some of the stuff that's going on in the city. Do that thing
Yeah.
for Strom Tolly.
No, it's Thormgirl the Magnificent.
Yeah,
You almost said Stromboli.
yeah. I had to think for a second, but hey, I have an excuse. I've been up since 3 a.m. already.
Well, let's go ahead and put that one to a vote then, because there is stuff that can be done in the city. Of course, Guts isn't here, but she's got her own thing that's going to take time, obviously. So if we would like to attempt to go out, say so now.
Sure.
Okay. And if we would like to stay in the city and take care of things, say so now.
Yeah.
Take care of business.
Yeah.
Okay. So the general consensus is to take care of stuff inside the city for this next 30
Sure.
days.
Yeah.
Or next month. You got a little bit more than that.
That works. I'm okay with that. I can work on the slave revolt.
I came.
How do I change? Let's see here.
Sorry, I was stretching. Okay, so we're spending a little bit of time and we're working on purchasing. We've just come into a very large sum of money. So, like responsible adults everywhere, the first thing we're going to do is spend it all.
Of course.
What's that?
Every cent.
Not quite every cent, but regardless, we did spend, a good bulk of it. I think the last thing that we were talking about before we got into prices and everything was that we were going to just sell what herbs and stuff we got for the quick buck and not hold on to it, correct?
Yeah.
Or at least that was one of the votes. Should we put it up for a vote? Does anybody disagree with that, or?
Sell everything, but like I said, I would like to keep the seeds to be grown at a later date.
I have no quarrels with what we
I'm good.
decide.
Okay. So we are on the selling plan. And I will write that down, and again, this is probably something that I'll take care of in between. For the most part of the week, you're not really, I'm going to say, bothered by anything that's going on. Yes, as you're going about doing your buying, your purchasing, because it's not actually an instant process. It's something that takes you a while. You're haggling, you're trying to find the best deals, you're chasing things down. The city is a place where you can buy whatever you want, but it's not always the most readily available thing.
So, on a random note, just for the sake of reference, how much is the recipe for Lichdom?
Naughty, naughty.
It's probably expensive. I don't know. I mean, you'd have to find something for it first. It's not like it's in, your grandma's cookbook.
You don't know what Grandma cooked, Grandma.
You really didn't know Grandma did.
She was a very peculiar person.
It's right between the Lichberry pie and the marinades.
Guts, and this is probably something that I'll work with her privately for, since she couldn't be here for this session, what with, midterms and all that, has been spending a fair amount of time with the two hags. But also, just to clarify with this, I did say the hags could make potions of normal healing. Would we like for them to attempt to work on it, or still just sell?
Sell.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter really.
They're mostly going out and sort of getting a feel for the city, finding out what they can, and presumably working on creating the soul bag, and then presumably gathering things for the ritual for the coven. They're not exactly chatty about it, as it were. If you attempt to, confront them about it, it's you wouldn't understand. Look, we've had hundreds of years working on this kind of thing. It's, something we know how to do. It would take too long to describe it, but just let us work on it and trust us. No worries. The city itself, you've seen it before. It's in sort of a bad place. It's gotten kind of to the point where if you're going out alone in the city, in certain parts of the city, you will be attacked.
So, Grandma, on that note, I want to go off in a dark alleyway, humming a song to myself with skeletons in my bag.
So, one of the things about that bag, I think we're going to make it like an action to pull out the skeletons. So you can do it as much as you want before combat, but like during combat, you just can't, summon 8 skeletons and whatnot in a single turn.
So it's an action per skeleton, you're saying?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, just like normal, it's an action to pull something out of the bag.
I can just turn the bag over.
Because then everything comes out.
Yeah, these skeletons come out, all these heads I have in there, a pile of gold.
And the first time we have to run from combat, you lose all.
How much would a second bag be just to hold skeletons in?
I'm not gonna let you just turn it over and pat the bottom of the sack to dump it out. So again, it's something like.
The bag. That's the feature of the bag of holding, though.
Look, I'm not going to let you just summon an instant army whenever. I'm telling you. If you have time to prepare for it, that's all cool. But, like, in the thick of things, that's just too strong, in my opinion.
It's too strong to be like, I'm scared, bag scared.
Huh? How much would a second bag be, though?
Second bag, you're looking at 15.
Okay.
1,500. I'm not sure where I was. Right. So again, it's gotten to the point where if you're going alone, you're going to be attacked. And so people are definitely not going alone. People are going in large groups, and they sort of have this looking for trouble look about them. Whether they are in fact looking for trouble or just wishing to project that sort of vibe to people, well, it's kind of hard to say. But the feeling in the city is a pretty rough one because of this that's going on. There's graffiti just everywhere. Generally things along the lines of revolt, take back the city, which is sort of an odd chant since it never really was the slaves to begin with, but regardless, it's sort of the slogan they're going with.
I'm in favor of it.
Several days pass by during your shopping, and the city is about to shift now. So it's been basically a full week since you've gotten back to the city. Excuse me. You're all doing whatever you want, but happen to be inside the mansion, and you hear a knock at the door.
I can answer.
No, Reg's the doorman.
Yeah.
You're gonna allow
He
Reg?
might eat whoever it is, but yeah, sure.
I'll just sit on the
Reg
stairs.
has tooth funk. He eats our corpses and he also answers our door.
Oh, yeah.
I'll wait at the top of the stairs
Sure.
for a dramatic end.
Chol, Kif, and Vex. Vex is looking very torn. You can see it on her face easily that she does not know quite what to think of the events that happened. Chol doesn't seem very perturbed by it. Kif has sort of gotten back to her normal, happier self, but just glancing, she's obviously bothered by something. She's greeted by Reg, or excuse me, they are greeted by Reg, who then come to Rick, being the next nearest person. Yeah, your friends are here. They wish to speak to you about what happened. They want everyone gathered into the meeting room.
Thank you, Reg. Thank you, Reg. You did a good job.
Indeed, I didn't even
can-
get the
can you-
urge to pinch them once.
How nice of you.
I'm such a
Could-
good
could you-
host.
Could you by chance prepare the meeting room while I gather everyone?
Oh, of course. I'd be happy to go about doing such a thing. And of course, he
Thank you, Reg.
scuttles off to do whatever it is he could be preparing in the dining room.
And then, I'd say to the Ratfolk guests to point them to this room and tell them to wait in there while I gather everyone in the meeting room for them.
We will. And they go about. Not much extraneous chat or anything like that. They're pretty much in business mode now.
And then, believe it or not, my next move will be to go around the house and gather everyone up into the meeting room.
So imagine you just see Ricky just kicks the door open, picks everyone up, walks downstairs.
Meeting.
Hey,
Oh,
downstairs
oh,
now.
quote unquote, be last coming in because I'll be bringing tea and drinks and stuff down.
Okay.
Hey, are you coming into this meeting, or you just...
For the purpose of things, by the way, we are going to say Guts and the 3 hags are not here. Because, you know,
Okay.
they're not
What,
here.
what if... What if they're just out working on making their flashback?
That's very likely what's going on, but again, I don't want to assume and put words in Guts' mouth until I speak with her, you know? But presumably
fair
that's what's
enough.
happening.
Picking a victim to murder, things like that. Yeah. Isn't that what they need to do?
Yes, amongst
Yeah.
other things, no hags.
There's that damn paperboy. He keeps delivering our newspaper late. Kill him.
As soon as everyone gets into the meeting room, I'll come in.
Which
Wait,
one's the
but
bedroom
get-
room? Is it the top one or the bottom one?
Sorry, we are down here.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, so I come in with a tray with drinks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I took meeting room as dining room.
Yeah.
Sure. Do.
And the rat folk are waiting.
I do go tell them that everyone is ready once the meeting room is full.
All right. So they gather in, crowd around seats, because it is kind of a small little room.
I get my booster chair up.
I'd like to think it was intimate. Reg would probably be off in the corner. Troll sits down, folds his hands. So, let us talk about things that happened. On the one side, you're to be congratulated. You've done something very difficult. We've all heard about what's happened. I myself just arrived not too long ago back to the city, but I was told in a bit more detail about what happened before. But at the same time, people were hurt. People were killed. It's our belief that they were done so, perhaps not intentionally, but due to your negligence. Perhaps it's our fault for not explaining to you that these were our people, and that even though there was a price associated with their lives, they all meant a little something more to us than numbers on a sheet.
I'm truly sorry for your loss. I hope you understand there's no way that we could have predicted that what actually did kill the people was going to happen. It's how we didn't know it was out there.
If they
It
if
was
they
our
didn't-
negligence, yes, but we couldn't have planned for that.
hell no, it wasn't our negligence. And if they didn't want the money, then they didn't want the risk, then they shouldn't have come. It was part of the job. So bite me.
Vex
skeleton
sort of
seat over.
slams her fist down on the table and shouts that you weren't there. They went there knowing, were thinking that you would do what you could to protect them.
And
But
we
you weren't
did, and I
even
slammed
there. You were
with my
miles
strength 21
away.
With my 25 strength, I slammed my hand down on the table and break it in two, and I was there. So shut the hell up.
I'll not take such abuse from a slave.
Quiet, but we didn't come here to argue. We came here to talk business. We understand. We don't. We left guards at the camp. We expected that the guards would be able to take any threat. We had assessed the situation. We had thought that there were no threats that our guards could not take in that area. So we left that they were your people as our guards to go investigate a village of potential slaves, and there was nothing we could do. It's a dangerous business. I really don't know what I can say.
I'd just like to point out that the giant frog god was on Aono's expectations, and it
Yeah.
did, you know, you all were here with the head and the crystal and the ham bone. You know how the city reacts to divinity and stuff, right?
Indeed.
That triggered it when we brought that back.
Something that no one could have accounted for. I mean, demigods and gods, what are we to do against that? We were lucky to be able to even have a chance at bringing it back, let alone actually doing so.
And I'd like to know, we had to keep slaughtering it for the entire trip back. We've killed it dozens of times alone just to keep it down.
And that thing almost damn near ripped me in.
Vex gets up and leaves the room at this point. You can hear in the hallway muttering, cursing, raging, but it's not exactly directed towards any of you.
Kif,
I mean, it's kind of directed towards all of you.
I'm talking to Kif now because she was the one that was actually there during the
Right.
initial. Kif, you were there during the attack. I mean, think about it yourself. How much of a difference with the surprise attack from that thing would we have really have made anyway? The best bet was the fact that we were able to do what we did because we weren't with you.
She shrugs.
Not to mention,
I always thought that I was very competent. We all did, through our abilities, through the training we've done and everything. We were underprepared for something of this strength. But
And the fact that you're still alive isn't a testament to the fact of your training and everything like that. I mean, that's probably what saved you. What was the difference between turning out like the others?
Maybe you should spend some of your profits and just resurrect your dead people.
Neither here nor now. The issue, speaking of profits, is that we were just unprepared. And
Being at the attack yourself, would you also not agree that there was no way we could have prepared for that?
She sort of shrugs her hand.
There was nothing we could have done.
You managed to kill it later on.
No, it's not dead.
Only because we were fighting it on our terms.
Yeah, it's still not dead. It's in the city somewhere, being killed.
You managed to subdue it either by yourself. We're not weak and helpless.
Not by any
Beyond
means.
what this thing did.
You know, just cut to the chase. What's the deal? I'm tired of this chitter chatter. You were wrong. We did what we could, but we're not going to agree. So just tell us what you're here for. I'm tired of this beating around the bush. Just cut to the chase and tell us what you're doing here.
He sort of purses his lips. We think we may have made a mistake in giving you our trust so early.
Fine. There's
We
the
are
door.
not-
Get the hell out.
Calm down, Tadpole.
Useless pile of meat. Go ahead. Keep talking.
We are not rescinding it at the moment, but things have got to change. You've got to become a proper company before you go out. Yes, these things were a bit unusual in their circumstances, but if anything suitably important or powerful could have come along, the circumstances could have been easily done. There's generally a reason why we go out with so many people, and we would have given you more people. You nearly turned down all of them. And he sort of glances at you, Tadpole. This is a thing that you need to find the correct people to deal with. It's not a thing that you can do alone. And while, yes, we, and I most particularly, assumed that the rest of my comrades would have been enough to keep you safe from anything, obviously this was not the case.
So you made an error in judgment. I agree.
But so did we.
I wouldn't
So
say that.
can,
I think it's just a learning curve. Like was said, we were ill prepared for something of that magnitude.
So may I ask a question in all politeness? Would you rather us stay in the camp guarding your people and not make a profit, or would you rather us go out and do what we're hired to do, to retrieve gold and treasure and make a profit with having the risk involved? Because those are the only two options. We are more than happy to stay and probably not make a profit and guard your people, or
That's
we
the
can go
thing,
and
Tadpole.
you can
We
you can
weren't
assume the risk, which
prepared.
we paid for that risk.
And another standpoint, the fact that the actual walking guard was an unknown circumstance. We were hunting actual threats in the area. The two dragons, the Hydra, beneath the village of the Foghemoth, the Fogs.
I would really like an answer to my question. Which would you rather us do? Stay and guard your people and not make a profit, or venture forth knowing the risk, because your people knew the risk, and go and try to make a profit? I would like an answer. Which would you rather us do?
Personally, I would rather you take the third option. There's no need to leave them alone. You could have taken them with you. You could have done any number of things to ensure their safety, or to at least help ensure their safety. You
so
know that
placing
you're
guards
stronger
around
than
that?
them.
So placing guards roundabout is not enough. And if I do recall, we did actually pay a pre-agreed price for every person if there is a fatality. And we paid that in full, if I recall, and paid extra resurrecting Chul and doing other things out of our own pockets, mind you. So there is no third option. It's one of the two options.
We could have done more
I mean,
than we did do.
That was done because Skarg's our friend, and if we have a chance to revive a friend, we're going. We would have
Right,
done it for
right.
Kif or Chol or Vex or you or
Well, you're my
Guts or
friend.
anyone
These
else.
rats are not. They are business associates. They're not friends, to me
And
at least.
to us, they go a bit further than just business associates. We've traveled with them outside of our business dealings. We've fought with them multiple times.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's fine. That's the only reason what's keeping me from slapping this rat in the face in the first place, is my respect for you. So I will be quiet from now on, or at least try.
Joel is angry. He's keeping his cool. But obviously he is not happy about the threat of physical violence. Kif gets up and leaves as well. Again, sort of fuming and whatnot in the hallway along with Vex at this point.
I'm just
Joel
gonna
is a
tell
bit...
Joel.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell Joel if the fire breaks out, I'm gonna jump in on his side.
I'm not
No
gonna
fight
fight him.
is going to break out.
No. I'll probably pick Joel's pockets now that he doesn't have any other people in here, but we'll see. I'll wait for the opportunity if it arises.
The long of it and the short of it is that, and again, perhaps this is something we should have stressed to you further. We're a family when we work out, and we were extending a lot of that to you as well with this gamble. Perhaps it was one that was made a bit hasty, but either way, we are not rescinding our deal, but you have lost a lot of trust with us, and likely we will not be helping provide people for you any longer as a group. Should you approach individuals, that may be one thing, but you're on your own. We will, of course, offer advice as necessary, but it's time for you to take your own further steps.
Well, I hope we haven't lost our friendships with you anyway. It's understandable that you would be hesitant to trust us again in the future so quickly, so we'll just have to work on getting that back.
We do things very differently than you. Typically, and as you've seen, when someone makes a mistake, we deal with them somewhat severely. This isn't a thing we'll be doing with you, of course, but just know that some people back at the Rat House are calling for something like that.
Think of the bright side,
What
though.
sort of thing are they calling?
Go
Well,
ahead.
as you know, we work a bit differently than you, and we call for a more physical sort of atonement, typically.
I mean,
What
I can
what
give an
sort
arm
of
and give a
atonement
faith if
would
it's
be
one.
one?
Sorry, you guys are kind of stepping on each other.
You go, Rick. You go first.
What sort of atonement would be one?
This is not a thing that I can say at this point, and it's not a thing that's being put on you. Just know that some people are crying for it. Disfigurement is a thing we do, to be very frank. You work differently than us. It's not something that I would call to be placed upon you.
Keep the discussion open, because I
mean-
may be open to it.
Just out of character, yeah, I got a ring of regeneration now, so if it helps, I can give an arm up every couple of days.
But as I was saying, to be honest, if all it takes is an actual act of God to ruin good graces, then we should be happy. Though I guess I'm just inviting more gods to smite us as soon as we walk out those doors at this point.
In other news, how is Skog doing? Has he woken yet?
Yes, he is, as one might realize, shaken by the situation.
Understandably.
But he is mostly up on his feet, or getting there, rather.
Well, I hope he doesn't have any too hard feelings towards us.
He sort of shrugs. And then at some point, Tadpole, you did slam the door shut while doing whatever. So you are more or less cut off from Vex and Kif and all that. This is a difficult position for me. On the one side, you have done something unarguably very great. But on the other side, it was at a cost that, while acceptable to those in charge, for those whom it happened to, is not acceptable. You're in a difficult position, and I understand, but this is the decision that was reached to by the others. You do have some of our support, but it will take some time to build up trust. Vex, I don't know. She's both grateful that you resurrected her brother, and she's furious that you let him get in that position in the first place. Kif, much more understandable. She was there. She fought the thing. She says, and she has reiterated how much that she was just powerless against it.
I appreciate and I can understand all the issues, but I'd like to just say personally the act of an actual demigod descending on the camp is a 1 in a million chance of happening, and it was dealt with.
Likely. And again, that's something that I understand, and something that the Patriarch understands, but
the general everyday man just sees that they've lost good friends and family.
And Chol nods. But this is most of the meeting. Again, we will still be working with you. We have come into an alliance, and we are not so quick to abandon our allies completely. We just yell at them.
So we can expect the support of men and people, and I can understand that. Would there be any financial support when we do decide to try to take another venture?
Yes, that will still be there under the same agreement as before.
Okay.
We are not intending to cripple your ability to go out, but at this point we are not aiding it quite as much as we should.
Well, if I believe you all don't mind, we did decide to take some time off for the time being. Recuperate ourselves.
And we've been asked by some others to look into some of the things that are going on around in the city. We have to find and talk to, what was his name again?
Thorgmore the Magnificent.
Is that really
Is that
something we need to burden our guest with? I think he really doesn't need to know all of our personal dealings.
I mean, no, but we were just warning
Good.
him that.
Then I open the door and motion for the rat to leave.
Tadpole?
Yes.
Just
Stop.
continue explaining this to her.
Chol sort of ignores you. I mean, but now there's an uncomfortable silence in the room.
I'll call out to. Oh no! I'll actually go out to them, and I'll go out to Vex and Kith. And I mean, I can talk to them after we can finish up what's happening in the room.
Sure.
But I'll go try to talk.
Okay, we'll finish up what happens with the room, and then we'll go ahead and hit your conversation. Chol eventually speaks back up, but in the meantime, in order to prepare you a bit more accurately, I personally will be doing my best to get you in contact with the folks that you need to go out. As I mentioned, though, it is rather unlikely that any of ours will be helping you in this endeavor. I would recommend... God, I don't want to say networking, but that's the thing that works. Networking, finding experts and individuals who can, who know their business, who can take care of and hold their own. It involves advertising yourself as a company. At the moment, for the general populace, they know that you've had a successful, very successful expedition. You've gained a fair amount of fame in this last one, although you are still relatively new as a company. People will be coming to you, but you should be somewhat leery of accepting just random people.
As I believe it was Janian was trying. We are looking for someone called Throgram, is it? Throgram, yeah, guys? Is that how you say it?
Thorgrom the Magnificent.
Yeah, that's him. Thorgram the Magnificent. We need to find him to possibly help out with this slave revolt. Would that get our name out?
Very likely.
Would you happen to know how to get in contact with this program?
He is a noble. He's a senator. He sits on the council. Finding him through official means is not difficult, but possibly time-consuming. You would have to petition for an audience and simply be granted one.
Do you know anyone who can cut out a bit of that middle?
Sorry, I was reading that. Yes, but you understand we're not...
AFK phone call?
Yeah. Looking to give you the most support at the moment. Especially in endeavors somewhat unrelated to expeditions.
Understandable.
If you have nothing else for me, I think we shall take our leave from here and have another meeting soon when tempers have cooled somewhat.
Does anyone else have any business?
Not in the room.
Right. Tadpole Troll said he was leaving. If you guys have anything else you want to say to him.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I'm going to go and open the door. Nice and wide.
All right. And over to this conversation. Happening at the same time.
Yeah. So, like, are they still in the foyer area?
Yes.
Vex, Kif.
Kif nods to you. Vex sort of just stares at you. It's obviously she's visibly angry and confused.
I'm sorry about Tadpole. She's still getting used to things in the city. She doesn't know quite how things work, if you know what I mean.
She
And
doesn't. And
she
she's very
also
likely to find out in a very painful manner if she keeps up that attitude.
And she also doesn't know that our relationships go beyond just business either.
Indeed.
I want to make sure that you and Skog and everyone who actually did make it are at least somewhat okay.
Was that directed more towards Vax or more towards Kif?
Oh, with the whole
Or just
getting out of it, but I know obviously Vex has been affected by it. I mean, it was her brother.
Sure. Excuse me. And again, a range of emotions passes across Vex's face. It's anger, sadness, relief, confusion, just sort of everything. She opens and closes her mouth several times, just searching for the words. I am grateful that you managed to help my brother. I understand, talking with Kif and the others, what exactly happened. It's horrific to think about. I am grateful. I do not believe it should have happened. Skarg is somewhat naive, and he trusted you completely. Whether directly or indirectly, to him and to me, you betrayed that trust.
That's understandable, although, I mean, it was never what we wanted. We just could not have foreseen something of that magnitude striking out of nowhere so quickly. We were having to deal with other situations as well, and then all of a sudden that happened. The only reason why we were able to even have a chance against it was because we managed to know what was happening and fight it on our own terms.
I know. I heard from Kif about what it was, how strong it was, but the whole idea, they didn't run. They didn't want to abandon you is part of the issue. They could have easily just fled and left you to your fates. It almost feels as if you did not reciprocate that feeling. You did, obviously. You went back from them and you managed to save them, but it shouldn't have happened in the first place. I don't know.
I do agree on that factor as well, and if we had known that the entirety of the camp were a rat house and not just mere hirelings like we thought, we may have taken the extra precautions, but it's a learning curve, I guess.
It is. And I think we will leave it at that. And at this point, sort of, Vex leaves. And Kif is left. Kif speaks up. I understand. Kyves understands. And even Skarg understands more than the others. We were there. We saw it. We fought it. You were helpless. I mean, obviously you weren't helpless, but we were. There wasn't anything you could have done if you were caught off surprise like we were.
Yeah, I mean, I think in some ways it may have been a grace that we weren't there at the same time, because if we had, there's every chance that we would have been in the same position as you.
I know that. I know.
That being said, though, how have you been doing?
She sort of shrugs and gives a half smile. What's one more atrocity in the long list? Things happen.
Jennings kind of giggles at that too, his mind flashing back to this meat scarecrow and everything else we've done. Yeah, atrocity. Well, you know where we are if you ever need us or want to find us, and if you can, give my best to Skarg and tell him to come visit sometime when he's recovered if he's not too sore on us.
I will. My only advice is to take things a little slower and frankly a little less greedy when you pick sites. Perhaps go for something cheaper, more out of the way. But she sort of shrugs at the end of that. Something with fewer gods.
I mean, just out of character, they're the ones that gave us that plot and said, hey, you guys should go to this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look, that's not
just out
lost
of
on me as a
character.
DM.
But I ain't saying that in character. I'll
Right.
just leave that dog lying.
What I miss?
Kif made a remark about choosing a better site, basically.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, she shakes your hands. I mean, she at least isn't bearing like ill will or hate towards you all.
Yes, Rat Wife was still on the table.
And then she goes out to, I don't know, calm down Vex. And around about this time, the rest of the meeting is closed, or done with, and Chol comes outside, bids you all deuces, and says he'll be back sometime soon to help plan out your next trip a little better. Well, he doesn't say it quite. He doesn't say it quite as condescendingly as it sounds. I understand as soon as I said it.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, we can also have a month to plan it as opposed to a week.
All right. I have to go use the restroom real quick and get some more coffee.
Yeah, I'm gonna go quickly make a coffee. Janin at this point though goes back to his kitchen. He's not too happy at how Tadpole acting.
Well, I look at it this way: Tadpole, first of all, is really still pissed about being a slave.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I know.
Nobody's.
It's
I
in
don't
character
think.
and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to play the character the way I think Tadpole, a chaotic evil character, would play.
Yeah. Nobody's angry
Yeah,
at your
no,
actions
and I
either.
fully
right?
understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure that the party's okay.
But if you happen
No,
to
yeah,
wake
I separate
up,
party and
those
character quite
sirens around
easy.
your neck.
All right. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
I'll be
no,
back.
I was purely worried about the diplomatic side of that. Like I thought you know, he was just gonna freak out after you were all threatening him.
I mean, it's tasty RP either way. I don't
Yeah,
disagree that
yeah.
Tadpole would play it like that by any means.
Not
Yeah.
one little bit.
And yeah, it really adds. I think it adds quite a bit to the RP when not everyone is pliant with.
Well, I think Tadpole doesn't understand your history with the Rats. Actually, as a player, I don't understand your history as the Rats. So it's actually kind of good for me.
Yeah.
Not knowing the history, you know.
The history can be summed up with Jinian wants to get scratched. They may want to bang a few of them.
Oh,
What a
I
few
really
of
do
them.
not need to know that.
No, but yeah, we have like traveled with them and been on another expedition or two with them as well.
Imagine if the
yeah.
goblin was a rat. Ratlin. Gobat. Go bats.
It'll happen. I'll be
You
right
have
back.
worked pretty well just to talk to them. And when we met Tadpole, we were working for them.
Yeah, I remember.
So,
I remember that. Yeah.
so if it just sums it up that much, that it's just really hard to get in with that crowd. And by the time we met you, we were already in with that crowd. So,
Yeah.
Which
Well, I
put the
understand.
effort in.
On a
Like I said,
different note,
my character is still pissed about the brand and stuff like that. So
No doubt you would.
yeah. So it's just fine. But I'm wealthy. I'm happy with that. I like the group that I'm with. You guys help me make money and achieve my personal goals, and so
you're just a second-class citizen.
Gee, you went from a scrawny, weak little thing into super strong, buddy.
yeah. My freaking belt of fire giant strength.
Oh,
To be
on that
honest,
note,
I
had
went from
planned
a
on
strength
getting
of
one.
5 to 25.
oh God.
I was, I was planning on getting one of those, but holy shit, does it suit you so much more?
When you can
That is a
increase your score by 20, I mean, that's amazing.
Legitimately 20 strength increase.
On that note, I'm gonna go fix that table you broke.
My character will go help. I really am sorry about that, but I was trying to go for dramatic effect.
just use some ramen noodle and super glue.
What? Ramen noodle
To-
and super glue?
Oh,
To fix the table?
no. We don't need ramen noodles or super glue. Because I'm a blacksmith wizard and I have mending.
Wait, where? I don't understand. Where do ramen noodles come into
Don't ask,
fixing?
Grip. Don't ask. You don't want to know.
I'll send you a link.
Please.
And that's how we scarred him for life. The end.
Well, like,
Shh, don't worry about it.
you know, I do like jewelry and stuff, right? And so I do like repairs on like pottery with like kintsugi and all that, which is, you know, basically like a flower type thing. But I've never heard of using like ramen noodles for it.
I just posted it in Discord. You can use sunflower seeds too.
Fixing things with ramen noodles.
Yes, you just see all of us take out these noodles.
Ramen noodle sounds pretty good right now, actually.
Right.
I think it has some for lunch.
Well, Grim's watching that. I'm gonna go ahead.
What is this?
Actually, I can adjust my attacks because I can go to strength now instead of dexterity. And get an extra couple points.
That's so weird. Alright, and Guts just said in the Discord as well, or at least a little while ago, she forgot to set her alarm, so. And now is the point where she had to go, so. She will not be here.
I honestly think, like, I do 11 damage per punch.
What's that?
I think I do like 11 damage per punch.
OP, please nerf.
That is actually broken.
It's,
That's more than most unenchanted weapons. And that's guaranteed damage.
it's
Yeah,
pretty
that's like my
strong.
least amount of... I think that's with rage, though.
Okay, so
Yeah, I do a minimum of 8 with a punch.
we've gotten a bit.
Oh, because you have a D4, right?
No, I'm actually at a D6 now
Ooh.
because the monks progressively go up higher as
A bit of a tongue lashing from the rat folk. And so the question is, what next?
well. Next, I'm going to answer my phone.
You got you popular today.
I am. Sorry.
Well,
I'm gonna
how
ask
much
the
longer-
party.
Okay.
Just what do we feel about just going through the proper channels to find this throat?
I mean, I reckon try the proper channels as well, but there's not a guarantee that it will see us. So I reckon we should try and find where he lives as well through other means, and then maybe we can just go say hi.
We might be able to skim a little bit off knowing Stromboli.
No. Stromtoli. Stromtoli.
Strommy.
Stromy.
You could call him Ember Fury. He'd probably like that.
That's actually probably easier too.
Sire Ember Fury.
It's Lord Ember Fury.
Lord Ember Fury.
That being said, yeah, I would probably be pretty keen on if Tadpole wanted to, using some of her roguelike back channels to try and find some people who might know where these kind of aristocrats and stuff may specifically.
Yeah, but we don't specifically know that Tadpole knows that.
My sound's being messed up. Hold on a second.
Okay. That would be a weird one because that's very different circles.
Circles for what?
Well, most thieves guilds and stuff like that would know where high-ranking officials lived, if anything, so they know, hey, this place either has good loot, or hey, even though this place has good loot, stay away because the heat's not worth.
He's a senator, right? So he has an office, I assume. Somewhere.
Yes.
Why don't we just go there?
Because he may not guaranteed see us.
We're afraid of waiting.
Fuck waiting.
Have you ever been in a waiting room? It's miserable.
Especially when bored wizards might just start throwing fireballs around or something.
Bored guys might just start punching things for extreme amounts of damage.
Oh gosh.
Nah, I'm not throwing fireballs. I got thunderbolt now.
I'm afraid you missed.
He missed? Oh shit!
Lightning.
That AC's OP.
I had advantage. That was.
Oh,
that was
gotcha.
correct.
You still miss.
Still misses it correct.
So yeah,
It's
I
a
understand
Tarrasque wearing
Tadpole's still away, but what do we think the best way to go about getting in contact with this person is?
Well, might as well try the office first.
And I presume pretty much everyone is a group is going, correct?
I mean,
We'll leave
it's not
Steve
necessary,
alone.
but we might as well.
Of course, Guts is doing her own thing
Yeah.
with witches, hags. Close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we kind of can't because she's not here, but at the same time, I really feel like this could be something that might really benefit from having our bard with us.
Yeah. Well, unforeseen circumstances. All right, so because there's no real reason why we wouldn't go up. Just knock on the gates, I suppose, or do the equivalent of. As a party, we go and knock on the gates. there's a single guardsman. There's not a single guardsman. There's several guardsmen at the gate themselves. Of course, the things that I described before are more or less still going on. The closer you get to the city, the better it actually is. The more actual guards you see patrolling, and the less of the wildness, quote unquote, that you see. You're stopped before you make it close to the gates. State your business.
We're going to try get an audience with one of the senators.
All right. What senator and who are you?
Grom? I keep forgetting the name. What is it again, someone? Something the Magnificent?
Thorgmar the Magnificent.
That one.
That's not right either.
Thorgmar?
Thorgrom. Like, you guys are
Thorgrom.
halfway there between the two of you. And after a bit of confusion as you kind of go over the name. And what's your business with His Magnificence?
Is the guard actually saying it sarcastically like that?
He is.
So this guy's a bit of a joke. Nice. Well, we've been told by Amber Fury, Lord Amber Fury, to go speak to him about the the uprisings and revolts going on around the city.
Have you now? His eyebrows definitely raise at the name drop. And who did you say you were again?
Well, we are the Imperatus Company. I'm Janian. The big one's Rick, Adrian,
You're that
Tadpole.
group that brought in all that stuff.
I mean,
Yes.
it's kind of what we do.
Huh. Right. Did you have an appointment? Did you want to schedule one? I don't...
Trying to schedule one, and we don't have one set currently, but
Right,
I'm
right.
hoping maybe it's got.
Look, we'll grab an escort for you. Just hold tight for a little while. We are going to have to confiscate your weapons here at the door before you come in. Just state of precaution. I'm sure you understand what's been going on. Not that, the assumption is you'll do anything here, but it's sort of out of my jurisdiction to give you amnesty from it. You understand.
That's fine, but I assume we don't need to take off all our armors and everything, right? That'll take a while. I point to my plate.
If you're meeting Thorgrim, you may wish to. He can be a bit eccentrically paranoid. He does a lot of good for the city, but supposedly he does a lot of good for the city.
I guess once if we get taken to somewhere where we can safely have our gear taken,
You would be taken
I'll
to a
spend
guardhouse. Like your stuff is being watched, and it's very unlikely for it to be stolen. He gives you a receipt for it.
Oh, well, that's a bonus. What about magic items and stuff like that? Do they try and confiscate any of that, like amulets, rings,
No.
my brace?
Mm-mm.
Nice.
That's just my belt.
I mean, things look pretty ornate. It's not like, for the most part, this is my solid brick of iron ring that gives me, plus 20 to, I don't know, bullshitting or whatever.
This is my ring that gives me plus 20 to bitch slapping nobles.
Right.
My ring of keys is a nice golden ring. So who's to say it's not just a nice gold bag?
Yeah, like nobody makes ugly ass magic items, you know. It's definitely a niche market if they do. So no, as long as it's not obviously a weapon, it's not exactly stripped from you. I'm going to
Good news, guys. We might still have the bees on our sides, technically.
create a very, very crude office for you. Because I was unprepared for it to go down quite this way.
That we'd walk to the front door and say hello.
Ironically, yeah. Which, I mean, look, I don't know what to think about you people, obviously.
Come on, we make meat scarecrows and take down guards. You can't plan for
I thought there would
Well,
be
we-
much more subterfuge involved.
We make meat scarecrows and take down guards. Obviously, we're gonna go try the front door.
Yeah, the only difference is usually you'd expect the front door to be kicked in, not, you know, an escort. And, oh, you guys are actually those guys.
Son of a bit.
Those people.
Oh,
Instead
it's
trying to
you.
Mission Impossible our way
I'm
into
back.
the seat of the...
I just booked another gig. Woo.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
Christmas party. Yeah, I like it. I like making money.
It works generally pretty good.
Yeah. I like making money in game and in real life.
Right.
So,
So again, I'm just sort of putting together a very quick map because I don't know what you people do, and I don't expect you to do the logical thing by trying to seek an audience.
what do you? Don't expect it.
You don't trust us none.
I don't.
Meanwhile, while he does that, Tadpole, we found a guard. We're getting a escort to the senator, but we've had to be disarmed.
Grim's got this map set up with all
Sure.
these cards on it.
As long as I don't
waiting
take
to
my broom,
fight
I'm
us.
fine.
We're all just like, hello, can we walk?
They would ask for anything that could be used for a weapon and armor. They would not ask for miscellaneous magical items, but anything that you could use to hit somebody with, they would want.
Okay, well that's fine. I don't need my broom. I'm more than happy to use my fist if it comes down to it.
All right, so you're taken to an extremely crude office.
That's a sexy map.
You guys shouldn't make fun of me or my maps.
Why will my token not update?
Did you save it after you?
Yep, it's updated.
You
in
can't
chat.
edit your token manually. He has to do it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I will do it right quick for you then.
I just deleted my old one then.
Dang it.
No, he's supposed to be here sometime, anytime.
This is a nice house, Grim.
Saying that that's fine with the $500.
Oh, you guys. Always with the jokes. It's beautiful and I love it. There we go. Now we're saved.
Nice.
So you're led by your escort to a very small, sort of squat building that is definitely not where the rest of the offices from the Senate are. This is something that's most assuredly set up away from anything else. Again, it's small, squat, made of stone, no windows, which, while common for the rest of the city, is very uncommon for anything within the sort of seat of the Senate. Things are very lavish, very extravagant, but not this building. And this is one of the few buildings as well that has guards to it. And they don't look like your run-of-the-mill guard either. They're more alert, more aware, more all of that stuff. And they stop you as you come close. Or rather, they stop the other guards. What's your business? Well, we are bringing some people who wish to have an audience or speak with Thorgrim. Thorgrim the Magnificent. You do best not to forget it, nor not to say that in front of him. You know he has a temper and can be... They sort of look shifty. Flighty at times. Yes, of course. Well, we'll be waiting around here for you when you're done. And the other guards, for some reason, not pictured here because I didn't put them on here, sort of go off and wait within eyesight, but not exactly close to you. So, business with Thorgrim the Magnificent, yes?
Yes, we are the Imperatus Company, and Lord Emberfury has sent us to speak to Thorgrim about the revolts that are going on in the slave caste around.
Oh, so volunteers. Right. Have you ever spoken with Thorgrim the Magnificent before?
Not His Magnificence himself, no.
They split into grins immediately when you say that. They aren't even attempting to hide them.
Seeing that, Janian's face just goes sullen as fuck.
So what do we need to know?
Well,
what are we dealing with?
You know, obviously, this is the only building that's guarded. They've taken away all our weapons and armor. Well, what are we expecting? What do we... How do we get through this?
Our master is a bit on the paranoid side. I would refrain from sudden movements, sudden loud noises, or anything like that. He's friendly, very affable, but...
I'm just gonna point to Tadpole. Can I leave this one outside with you guys?
No. Tadpole's coming in. Just no quick movements running around or getting angry, Tadpole.
Tadpole's gonna...
You wound me, sir.
He's...
You're gonna spook him.
Is Thorgrim here though? Is he free for an audience?
Oh, he's free? And it's sort of a question the way he put it. Yes, give us a few moments. We'll head in and make sure he is suitable to receive visitors now. And again, they're just laughing it up, barely concealing grins, chuckles the entire time.
These guys love their job.
Now we understand, and we'll have a good laugh about it later, but we are being serious. Respect is key here. Are we understood?
Yes.
There is no doubt about it. Only the utmost respect.
Good. The guards come back, and he sort of chuckles. He's more or less awake now. He has this habit of falling asleep suddenly. I would wake him up if he does it.
believe they call that narco.
But you can head on in.
Alright then, now we're going.
The office is small. It's very, very sparsely sort of decorated for the most part. 2 chairs and a large just fish tank in the center. I know one might expect a desk, but it's basically a full fish tank. There's not much in the way of things around. But in the corner, sleeping, you can see what? A monster. Sort of a large one. You would know right off the bat that it's a beholder.
That it's what?
It's what?
Yeah, you cut.
Oh, that it is a beholder. Large, floating eye, closed, sleeping.
So it's a true beholder?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. I'm out of here.
do not piss this thing off. I very, very, very slowly and carefully walk over. Not touching him
would
at first,
not
not
approach
checking
it.
him or anything. Thorgrim, your magnificence.
His eyes snap open. And he talks, but not from sort of the large mouth underneath. No, here, we'll blow up the picture. Not from the large mouth underneath, but from sort of a multitude of mouths, or several mouths, that happen to be covering all over his body. Ah! Visitors, welcome! I was expecting you weeks ago. What happened?
Fighting a
We-
god happened.
We got busy shopping. Wait, were you expecting us or someone that will be?
Yes, I was expecting you. My guards told me that you'd be coming weeks ago. I'm surprised it's taken so long.
The doorway
The-
was really difficult to get through. It's really a splendid door.
It is a splendid doorway, isn't it? Magnificent. The hours that I've spent staring at it are innumerable, I assure you.
Well, we came
I'm
to
so
talk
sorry for holding you up.
business with.
It's no hold up whatsoever. What can I do for you?
We've been sent by Lord Emberfury to talk to you about the slave revolts going on around the city.
He sort of narrows his eye. Yes, what about it?
Oh, we were told that you might know something about it, and we're looking at helping to stable the city out a little bit, as is our duty.
Helping? You're here helping? Not demanding answers?
I mean, we wouldn't demand anything from
What a
something as
fantastic day! He starts sort of dancing, for lack of a better word, in the air. He's spinning, he's swooping, he's doing all sorts of things. Yes, 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 what do you wish to do?
Well, the uprisings aren't really good for the city. A lot's happening.
No,
and
not at all.
It's taking its toll.
Dirty slaves getting things... They're just getting too big for themselves. Their britches. We can't make bigger britches for them. We have to do something about them.
Exactly, and we wish to help with.
Good, good, good. What can you do?
Well, we can do almost anything, really.
Anything. Fantastic, fantastic. Destroy all of them.
Well, that is a very broad goal. Do you maybe know of any leaders or instigators?
Yes, I do know of something. Let me think. Leaders of the slaves. There is one thing that you can do. There is somewhat of a cult, sort of a following. They call themselves the Cult of the Four, or something like that. I've divinated where they come from. You could head there and destroy them all.
Or would you have any idea where they might be functioning out of, or could you divine using your
Yes, I know
magnificent-
exactly where they are. I found them. I told you. I can tell you where they live down to the street name, but I can't leave here, you see. People tend to react unpleasantly.
I could not imagine why.
Neither can I. Oh, but then they start screaming, and I hate the screaming. It's so
Who would like screaming? That is
very
horrible.
vexing.
Well, with luck,
Just the staring and the
with luck,
pointing.
this cult will be the one screaming for you.
Just could you just point out where the
Oh, I can. Yes, of course. You should be careful though. These are not weak things at all. But right now they're based out of shame. You can find the mansion that they've overtaken. Look, break in, destroy them all, and that'll be the end of it. Well, not the end of it per se, but it will certainly help things.
It'll be a start, which is the
Those
main
and all
thing.
those damn arms of theirs! So annoying.
What's wrong with that?
I like arms.
They're overrated. Especially that many.
How many do they have?
I don't know. They do some sort of ritual or something. Modifications or whatever. Whatever comes out of them, they wind up with like 4.
Well,
Either
this
way,
is
it's
a
an
good start.
altogether unsanctioned use of magic.
Well, we
Alright.
shall hopefully see you at least in a couple of days, maybe a week or 2 at most. Although, just out of character, I think that might feel like years for him.
Yes. What else do you need? There's 2 of them there. What are their names? Oxmu and Shakzufria, which I will, spell for everybody.
Are those guys?
No, those aren't the guards. Those are the leaders that I wish you to kill. But take precautions.
The forearm one.
What?
The forearm leaders.
Yes. What else? I'm very busy.
Did we have anything else that we needed from it?
Maybe get like
A
a
few-
badge or something so we don't get arrested immediately.
A badge. What a good idea. It's fantastic. What can I get for you? What can I get for you? What? Yes, we'll have to make up something. Speak with the guards. Tell them to make you badges. Beautiful, shiny ones.
Indeed. They shall be magnificent.
Yes, but not too magnificent.
Of course not.
We
Nowhere near as magnificent.
Yes, for I am the magnificent one, Thorgrim the Magnificent. Why are you not kneeling?
Does Thorgrim like rocks?
I am.
He's sort of, bouncing very neurotically.
Does he seem like, eccentricness aside? Is he all there?
Insight?
Not likely. Like, I'm not even going to make you a roll for that one. I mean, you probably haven't had a ton of experience with, like, beholders, but, man, this one is out there.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna leave him a gift as we leave, and I'll slowly pull out the blue rock that I've been carrying since first session, basically.
Okay.
The chrysocolla or whatever it is, and I'll leave him that, saying that it's a gift for his magnificence, and although it pales to his magnificence, hopefully it'll brighten up his room a bit more.
Yes, this is amazing. He sort of reaches down with his two longer eye stalks and wraps around it and picks it up. This is amazing. I love this. And he sort of rubs it against his body like you'd rub dirt away from something like that, and sort of just gently and very gingerly places it in this large fish tank. And now all of his attention is absorbed on this fish tank.
And I kind of bow and back out towards the door. Assuming he doesn't do anything else, I think we leave.
He does not. He is oblivious to everything at this point.
Well, I
So
mean,
you
I like him.
you couldn't have warned us that it was that.
We find that it's a much more organic experience when folks aren't warned about it. Excuse me.
Well,
It's-
he had to said he really doesn't like screaming, so I'm guessing if someone walks in there and starts screaming, they're not gonna walk out. Yeah. What if someone died? Like, why would you not warn someone?
Then they've got a magnificent mess to clean. But we have at least a beginning. Thorgrim did say something about making us badges so we don't get arrested for what we're going to have to do.
A badge? He sort of raises his eyebrow.
Well, he's a senator. He has some sort of seal of office or something, so he can just say,
There
"We're
is
working
something. We can give you a writ right now, but a badge would take some time, of course.
I mean, a writ's more than fair. A badge was, I think, pandering to his eccentricness.
He sort of
I think-
raises
I
a
think-
finger. It is not a good idea to assume things around him. Should you say, or he say, he wants something done, all of him, and he sort of waves his hand aside, he expects to be taken at his word. We will be creating a badge for you at some point, but Till we get that to you, we do have a writ.
That's fine
Does he
by
have a
us.
symbol by chance? Because I myself am a craftsman. I could procure some next we meet.
I think he'd be happy with a badge that showed his visage.
Yes, if you can get his likeness on some sort of badge, I'm sure he would appreciate that.
Okay.
And he kind of shrugs, or hate it with all of his being. It's sometimes difficult to tell.
So, just out of curiosity, out of character, people vote for senators, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who voted for him?
We'll see, sometimes
Yeah,
this
many
very
charmed people he had.
Maybe he just gets results.
Yes, sometimes things happen, and also there's this little thing called corruption in politics, and when you're a beholder, that can, twist the laws of fabric and reality.
Yeah, are you going to be the guy running against the beholder?
Oh god.
Or are you just not going to exist in this universe?
Because there's probably easier ways to commit suicide.
Valid.
Yeah, like-
valid.
We just took down at least a demigod a couple of sessions ago, and I still don't want to fight a beholder.
No.
Gods don't change the fabric of reality; beholders do.
So you've got a place, and you've got like street names. I mean, it's pretty well documented by the guards where exactly this place is. So
let's go get our equipment back, because I feel very, very, very. I feel as bad out of place as Tadpole probably does without her weapons.
Level 9, guys. Take that dream spell. Start
Yeah.
warping reality.
I want my weapons, but
oh, did I not give him a name? I didn't give him a name. Hold on. I don't know why it matters, especially since we're getting ready to turn away from the map, but
We'll be back.
So he wants us to take out the slave revolt, huh?
Specifically, a group of cultists that use magic to give themselves extra limbs.
I mean,
can you
there is
imagine
also-
a monk with extra limbs?
There is also every chance that the bi-yearly elections are coming up, and we're just going to be taken out as competition. But
I'll go over to the guards. By the way, are we getting paid for this?
did you discuss some sort of payment?
No, but
Then we appreciate what you are doing, citizen.
fair point.
yeah, I mean, personally, I feel like this is kind of affecting the city, so we would be kind of obligated in spirit to be helping it. Maybe not Tadpole, because she's a new slave and everything, but us multi-generation actual standing citizens would actually be feeling the effects of the city itself.
I'm sorry we can loot those secrets and all the gold and just, do side businesses for money since we have some stuff.
Should you be successful, likely, the idea would certainly be open. Mind you, we would not recommend trying to pull a fast one over Thorgrim the Magnificent. It would not be in your best interest to do, but asking for a reward is certainly not out of the question.
And I mean,
He really
Time's
isn't as
probably
bad
really-
as he seems.
Well, he
Bad?
seems
he
magnificent.
didn't seem
Don't
bad
talk
at
about
all.
Oh, you caught him on a good day. Fantastic.
Oh, good day.
Yeah, on that note, what's up with the use thing?
I'm sorry?
He said he expected us years ago when we walked in.
Weeks. But yeah.
He has a very poor sense of time. It was weeks, by the way, not years, but
Oh.
Dude's just tripping on mushies all the time.
he says it doesn't exist, and it means very little to him.
No.
I mean, is he wrong?
The guard sort of shrugs. I know that later today I'll be going out and sharing a wonderful story with my wife.
Yes, well, we have a wonderful story too. A magnificent one, you could almost.
He sort of barks out a real short laugh at that. Ha!
Anyway, assuming we have been given some kind of writ, or will be given the writ when we get our equipment back, what are we doing next?
So what they do is they take you to another smaller office, much smaller, basically several dozen feet away, that actually has a table in office, much more of a traditional office. There's a clerk of some sort, quote unquote, working there, although he doesn't seem to be doing much. He writes up a writ for you, basically saying that what you are doing as it pertains to the area, you are doing on behalf of Thorgrim the Magnificent.
Oh god, so we're also actually doing it in his name, so we really can't fuck this up because we don't want to piss him. Don't make him look bad.
Right, this is a very explicit, endorsement from him.
So, kill the ones we're looking for, no burning down the orphanage.
The older clerk sort of shrugs. Sometimes orphanages burn down.
He gets
I'm
it.
going to enjoy working with Thorgrim.
Hey, Grim, I need to ask a quick technical question.
Yes.
So, my magic item I just picked up the Stone of Good Luck adds +1 to ability checks. Does that include these tools?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I would say yes. Anyway.
Really nice stone. Especially more so since we don't attune to anything, for the most part.
Cool.
By this point, you've got to have like +14 for your thieves tools or something.
No, it's only +9.
Really?
It's still pretty decent. I mean,
Yeah.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
That's decent as fuck, but yeah, a lot more tame than I thought it would be.
but we are level 7 at this point. I feel like that's when people really come into their own.
Yeah.
Of course, that's more of a 3.5 thing, but
Tadpole's not a rogue main.
no.
Your
No.
main your monk level's there.
All right. I would like for us to decide what we are going to do while I use
broke
the
up again.
restroom real quickly.
I would like 4. And then you leave us
4
hanging.
arms? You want 4 arms?
So say that again, Grim. Grim?
I'll be right
You there?
back. Restroom.
Okay.
So, now what?
I've just been off having a smoke for 5 minutes. What if I'm-
Well, I'm torn because I'm, as a slave, kind of in favor of the slave revolt, but
It happens every few years, honestly.
Hmm.
As you saw the ones that don't know, maybe not a few years, maybe every now and then.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the definition of slave, I feel, is different from other perspectives. I mean, I'm sure there's some assholes that treat them like shit. You get that anywhere, but at the same time, they do, technically speaking, food, shelter. They don't
Yeah,
have to, they literally just have to clean shit and help build.
just
I
on
assume.
just on an out of character note, yeah, it's not like when slaves are talked about in the city sense and like first generation slaves like you and stuff,
Oh
it's
yeah, the children
it's
are
not
all
necessarily
citizens.
an indentured slave or something like that. It's essentially lower caste citizens.
And anyone that's born in the city, like if you have a kid, any of those people have a kid, they're automatically citizens. They're not slaves.
There's a pretty strict sort of code of conduct when it comes to slaves. I mean, they aren't throwaway or whatever. I mean, they're seen as a valuable, if human,
Oh, I know.
whatever resource to the city. I mean, it's
Well, I look at what my character succeeding mightily
Mhm.
doesn't change the fact that she's still pissed off about the brand and
Right.
stuff like that. So, yeah.
it's a
also-
status thing, you know.
That and technically
fair,
speaking,
like-
you could get that. There is one way to get that brand removed that I do know of.
And that is
Doing something great for the city so they recognize you and reward you with citizenship.
like bringing a demigod in.
Or stopping a slave revolt that's affecting the city itself.
Or we could just do this and I use my hat of disguise and remove the brand.
That's still there.
Yeah,
Like
because
status
isn't
wise,
it on your-
Is it
Um,
though? If you can't see, is it still there?
Actually, that's the thing.
Oh no!
When we saw Scav, what has anything happened with Scav? Because I remember hers kept, when she got branded, it just disappeared and everything again.
she's
didn't
made
it?
out
Like,
of sand.
Yeah, has anything untoward's been happening with her when we saw it?
Not that you would have realized, and you didn't really. Neither of you chatted. She seemed eager
Well,
to
I
sort
wasn't
of
there.
leave. Oh yeah, you were gone for that one, weren't you?
Yeah, I imagine Janian would have gone along with the party, but I wasn't there for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the Goblin Warrens.
She seemed fine.
That's
She's a
all good stuff.
powerful cleric.
Yeah. Well, she's really powerful cleric. She brought back Skarg from like a week dead.
Well, he was preserved. He was dead for, a day at most.
Oh yeah, but preserving the body doesn't preserve the spirit.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, does
So are
it?
we planning on going right to and trying to take these guys out, or are we going to do a little more stealthy stuff around them first?
Let's scope them out, I think.
Yeah, I'd call for scoping
Here's
them
my
first.
spell. This is just lets me raise undead, but the spell is the same as Gentle Repose.
Ah, okay.
Last sentence. Expectedly extends the time limit on raising the target from dead. Since days spent under this don't count against the time limit.
Alright, sweet.
All right, so I'm going to take a tiny little bit of time and start revealing what is around this place. But not so much revealing what is inside of it, because I think the scoping out is not only a good idea, it's a great idea.
Okay.
So just give me a second, because of course this
Tell us
game
how you
is
really feel.
stupid, it's fiddly, and I hate it. And full disclaimer, this is not a map I made. You will be able to tell instantly. Man, and I chose something with curves. I hate curves.
Hey, don't mock the curves.
Oh, it's got like a big, huge bay window or something, and it's just killing me. Doing little slices of revealing at a time. I suppose there's no reason why I can't pull you onto the map. and I can try to talk at the same time. So I do presume we are sort of scoping this place out. Are we looking to just see what's going on, or are we going to sort of take our time over the course of days, blah, 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 however long it takes to gather info? Or are we of the more Russian?
we have two targets, but ultimately, like, we're going up against a cult. It would be a better idea, in my opinion, to actually take a couple of days, see who's coming and going, see what we're fully dealing with.
No, I'm making Crooks now again, by the way.
You're making what?
I'm making the Familiar an hour again.
Oh, okay.
You know, so we don't have to deal with an octopus running around stealthing.
I think I would almost prefer the octopus running around stealthing.
Same. Or
You
like
see
a
an
mouse or
octopus
something.
running up the side of the building.
I like it.
Make it a rat, and we can just send it in.
So it is at very least a 2-story building. The bottom story, of course, looks like this. I hope we're all on the same map. Let me check. Yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty large. I mean, it's larger than the place that you guys are living in. And it is guarded. Again, there's not a lot of sort of like grounds to the place. So what you see here as being grass is not actually grass. It's more just sort of stone on the floor of the city. But there are a lot of folks on it. They tend to be covered with cloak and very sort of the shadowy persuasion. When they go about things, they seem to be doing a fairly decent job of sort of stealthing around. They're not great at it. It's obvious that these people, for the most part, are not trained to do so as thieves or anything like that. The people are looking healthy that are coming out of it. When people come out of it to do things, and they don't look particularly untowards. You know, they're not hideous mutants or anything along those lines. You know what I mean?
So they all have 2 arms, you're saying?
Yes.
Is it a mix of races? Is there like a more clear
it's
set, there's more orcs or more humans?
It's definitely a mix of races. Again, things tend to be humanoid, just because humans tend to be so popular in the various planes, but it doesn't appear as if they're being picky. I mean, we know, or at least we can presume, that most of the people coming in and out are slaves, but...
Do we recognize... well, first of all, how big is the Shifting City? How many people approximately live in the Shifting City?
A census hasn't been done in a very long time. The last official city was somewhere around 1 million.
Oh, huge. Okay, massive.
Big city, yeah.
Okay, so we wouldn't... The odds of us seeing somebody that we know is probably pretty slim. Somebody that we brought in.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
You turn your head to see all the lizard folk, and you see Alas leading them.
A lot of supplies are brought into the mansion on a fairly regular basis. Supplies in terms of meat, supplies in terms of good berries. These are people who are still going out, still collecting what looks like food for a lot of people, and then bringing it to the mansion proper.
Are they in like big carts, and are the carts being searched?
They are carts. When you say are they being searched?
You know, like if there's a big cask or something, do they opening it up, or are they moving things around, poking their swords in hay, things like that?
In the city, they're not really being searched. I mean, they're just staying solely in the city.
supplies that are going into the.
Supplies that are going in, yes. Not exactly. They are being sort of unloaded at the front door, however.
You've got a bad connection or something because you keep breaking up a little bit here and there.
Let me try jumping in, jumping out. I do have a bad connection, and I'm not sure why. I'm at yellow bars.
Okay, so say that again about them going into the building here.
Generally, it doesn't seem like there's another entrance or exit to it, so things are being brought up to the front door, and then they are being unloaded right then and there, and brought into it.
Okay, so it's not like a courtyard, and they take it in, and okay.
Does it seem like there's kind of like, I don't know, a secret passcode or something, or is it just, you know, wearing their robes and stuff and you can kind of go by unnoticed?
It doesn't appear as if that's the case. Generally, there's not a lot of hold up between someone coming in or to the doors and going into the doors as well.
I know it's slim chance, but I'm going to look around casually and see if I see any thieves' cant writing anywhere around. Because, you know, thieves' cant is not only spoken, or it's also written.
Yes, and you'd have to get awfully close for that. You could probably get
just where I'm at then. You know, if within view, even like not up close to the building per se.
Yeah.
When we get close, I'll be looking for that as well.
There's nothing quite like that you can see from a distance. You know
I
where
didn't think
it
there
would be on a building,
Yeah,
but you can't quite get
Sure.
there without being, you know.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Do there's cleaning people come in and out?
Hard to say. There's nobody specifically looking like they're cleaning. It's mostly like
Workers?
meat, and mostly more of these hooded figures. They could very well be taking care of the daily things, but if so, it looks like it's not an outside party doing it. It looks like it's them themselves taking care of it.
Does the Shifting City have a normal day-night sequence?
Yes.
24-hour day?
I mean, it depends on the plane, but on the plane we are on, yes.
Got it. Okay.
Have we shifted yet?
Yes.
So what's the new sky look like?
Yeah, what's the new plane?
Yeah.
It
Do tell,
seems
do
to
tell.
be pretty much out of the ordinary. There is sort of a sulfury taste to the air. Maybe sort of a yellowish tinge, but it could just as easily be your imagination.
I think it's lucky we're staying in the city this time.
I am now curious. Who knows? I might want to venture out just to take a look.
The sky, of course, is normal sky as it was. There are clouds in it and everything like that. It's not, you know, a nightmarescape or anything like that.
I like the first shift.
Unlike the first shift. Or the second shift.
Okay, here's a question for you, really odd. Is there a tavern close by? A drinking establishment of some kind?
There'd probably be nothing like that very close by.
Sorry, go ahead.
Things like that tend to be closer to the roads, like the more official roads.
Yeah.
There's likely some unofficial gathering places, as it were. You know, where people sort of gather, they do their own thing as like a neighborhood or something, but nothing so grand as a tavern.
Okay.
As I was going to ask, I might have missed this, but where was this exactly?
This is
In Schlemm, isn't it?
Sheem. Right up
The
here in
hell
this
is
corner.
Sheem?
Very towards... Oh. In the 7th
What is Sheem?
district.
What is Sheem known for?
Nothing of note, particularly. They seem to be more of a dumping ground for anything.
Well, I suggest we just kind of scope it out for at least a day, see what, if things slow down at night, if there's a heavy guarded presence all the way through, maybe even scope it out for 2 days. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, I'm happy spending a few days watching it and
So
stuff. I was
that note.
thinking,
That
are there any
was
like
what we were already.
empty building nearby?
Yeah, what's the neighborhood look like? Can we hide somewhere?
The neighborhood is fairly heavily populated, but it doesn't appear to be very tightly knit. People at this point are sort of bunkering down. They are definitely slaves, and you do get some looks from people around you if you're ever not stealthing and anybody notices you, which at some point or another does happen. But people aren't rushing away to save your presence, but you are getting sort of dirty looks from the populace. Again, people are sort of huddling and gravitating to this area, it seems. Whether it's because of what's going on here in the cult/building, or they're just gathering towards larger population bases for safety from, the people who are up to no good. It's tough
All the
to say.
cannibals.
Are they cannibals? Not likely.
No, all the cannibals.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to ask my group. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys for a couple days, and I'm going to do a little reconnaissance of my own. And I'll meet. Why don't we meet every night and discuss what we learned that day? But I'm going to try my own little something on the side to try to get some information. I won't do anything untoward or too dangerous.
I was gonna say, did you want to try and get in with them, considering you've got slave branding?
That's kind of what I'm thinking of, but I'm going to go to the nearest tavern, and I'm pretty good at overhearing conversations as I'm serving and the like, and cleaning. It's kind of one of my. It's a gift. Let's just say that. So why don't we just, you guys watch? I'll go and check back with you every evening at our place, I guess, or here.
Well, yeah. If is there any empty buildings nearby to the cult facility?
Nothing that would be empty. That would be sort of unwatched. You could make it empty. I mean, you can say, hey, shove off to the people who are sort of squatting inside it, but...
And I don't feel like saying shove off would be a good idea. I think
these all like
disappearing would be a better idea.
Mansions or stuff.
I was going to go with murdering someone, but I wasn't going to go let them run away and talk.
The buildings themselves are fairly well done. They're not all in the mansions, but they are better than the average housing.
Ultimately, I'd like to find a place within maybe view of the manor to be able to, I don't know, work out of, essentially.
Is there any dark alleys
We
no
can-
one's squatting at?
Empty.
Oh, I mean, there's tons of dark alleys. Like, the city is basically a dark alley, especially as you get away from cities or the road,
It's a nice alley. If I live there for a little bit.
I think we should just empty it. Because then we don't have to be out on the street.
Yeah, I vote for emptying a house, and then Tadpole can try and sneak in, and it'd be great if the house was within 100 to 400 yards. I could sit up on the roof, and if anything goes wrong with Tadpole,
I mean, you could do
provide
that,
artillery support.
and it would not be the most it wouldn't be the most out of the ordinary thing. I mean, you know, this is a place where there's not a ton of law in this city. I mean, a bigger group very regularly comes in and tells a smaller group or a weaker group, you know, shove off. This is ours now. And, you know, they either accept it and, or, you know, they fight back or beaten up and then dumped out. So it's not like it's something that's super uncommon. It's more uncommon that citizens would be doing it rather than slaves, however.
And that's what I'm thinking about, is trying to do it in a nondescript way so we don't broadcast that we're in the area. So maybe just making a couple of people disappear would be a better idea than, hey, shove off or disappear. We just don't give them a choice.
And just bury the bodies in the back.
I mean, we've got Reg to feed as well anyway.
Point. Good point.
They're not going to start stinking anytime.
So what would we like to do? Current
Well,
options?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, and you can think about that while you work with the other guys. My background is servant, and remember my background feature I think you had talked about, where I can serve people and kind of overhear. You know, people don't pay attention to what they're saying when the servant's feeding them or dishing them out, thing like that. So I'm going to try to go and try to get a job, for lack of a better term, at a more seedy, lower end tavern as close by as I can, and I will be muttering under my breath in comment how I hate this stupid brand, how I hate being a slave, you know, things like that, which is very true. So if somebody incites me, and then I'm just going to try to overhear conversations that might relate to the cult or this, and I might even drop a few names or you know, things like that. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll let you figure that out, what you want me to do there.
So there's plenty of places where people would gather, but there's not a ton of places where money would change hands for that. Are you looking for just a place where people would be gathering and, you know, talking, expressing their woes, or would you be looking, more specifically for something where it's a business thing, people are exchanging money, goods and services? Yeah.
Is there more the latter, but is there a place where there's more like a slave hangout? You know, like a tavern for that slaves will frequent more than citizens?
Not while facing the ladder, or not while looking for the ladder. Slaves still generally aren't very well off. They're provided for, but they don't have a ton of like excess money to spend on booze or food or anything like that.
Is there like
They survive,
like
they don't
or a
live.
black market tavern? At Thieves' Cant, I'm going to start looking for, asking and broadcasting, is there, you know, a place for slaves to gather for drinks and to, you know, discuss the woes of being a slave, you know, things like that.
Okay.
So I'm just going to be having that in Thieves' Cant.
All right.
Oh yeah, there's a great manor over there. They give you some robes.
You're not directed towards the manor exactly, but it is certainly something that comes up in talk. And like, well, you know, if you're looking for a place where, you know, a slave can really be free, that's the place that you're looking for. You can find sort of these dives where thieves frequent more often, but it is further away than you might be thinking. You know, there's not a ton of money being exchanged where the slaves themselves frequent a ton.
Okay.
But you can pretty easily find the hangouts of thieves.
Sure. That's what I'll do.
Okay.
So, and then I'll let that percolate in your little DM brain and think how you want to that. And go on with the rest of the group.
Okay.
And I'll check in with the group on a daily basis.
All right. Back at home, you had said?
Is that what you want to do, guys?
Well, if we can't make people disappear and find a place a bit closer to the manor, then yeah, we can do it at home. But that was the main idea, was so we could stay in the area and not risk tails following each other backwards and forwards and everything.
Strong
'Cause if you-
arming someone out
yeah.
is something you can definitely do, and frankly, murdering somebody out is definitely something you can do. You just have to make a decision on which you wish to do.
Rick, are
I'm
we?
kind of a friend of the.
Fun of the what?
I want to murder.
Yeah, me and Rick will go secure a house not too far away from the manor then, so we can work out of the area and not risk taking tails back to our manor and everything.
It's no contest. It's not even necessary to roll rolls or anything like
Well,
that.
you murder
Didn't
people.
didn't really think so with a 25 strength barbarian and a 23 AC fighter.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to happen.
But you manage to get some place that's within sort of sight of them, and you manage to get it on the highest floor of the building you're on, which is, unlike many buildings, fairly high up as it comes to the city. We're talking the 5th floor or so.
Nice. So
I
I've got a nice
presume
little
you're not clearing out the entire building, however, you're just clearing out this area for you.
Yeah,
Or
just
are you
at least
clearing
the-
out the building?
At least the entire top floor.
Okay.
And of course, any resistance necessary.
Yeah, so we got some more bodies for Reg at least.
Okay.
Yeah. And me.
But would we be able to see outside of the city from all the way up here?
From where
Be
you
able
are,
to see
yeah,
over the walls or anything?
you're over the walls, as it were.
Like what's? Because we only saw the sky. Like, what's the horizon like? What is this plane, actually? Just since we're.
The horizon looks pretty typically, is what you would expect from any other horizon. The plant life looks like it's some sort of grass, but it's very odd. It almost looks like there's. When the wind blows, there's these sort of clouds of dust or something that form. You're not sure whether it just happens to be like an incredibly thick pollen or what it is exactly. You know it's not something like sand, because some of it would waft in and whatnot, but it just appears to be this yellowish. Trees are very far and few between. It looks more like it's a grassland. But it almost looks manicured as well, the grass. It looks like someone within recent times has mowed it. Now that's just talking about the height of the grass. That's not, saying it actually looks manicured like someone recently mowed it.
So it's just very short.
Right.
For some reason, I really feel glad we're not going out this shift.
Yeah, same. Let other people go deal with sulfur air and the creatures that come.
I don't know why you guys are afraid of grass.
It's kind of really.
Have you
Really
seen
given me
Happening?
the Happening.
On Flux?
I've not seen The Happening, as a matter of fact.
Don't. It's an absolute trash movie, but I mean,
If you had, you'd see what we mean. It's pretty trash.
Gotcha. So,
It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
after you sort of secure your building, what is it that you're going to be looking into for the next couple of days? Are you just going to be surveilling the mansion, or are you going to be taking some more active steps?
mainly stakeouts, but if possible, I would like to try and get hands on a couple of sets of the robes.
I was thinking, since I have this, get up on, and I just got a staff of healing, maybe I could try to apply my trade as some sort of healer.
I don't think any of us citizens should be trying to deal with them directly.
I'm just saying to the random people around, not to them directly.
Ah, okay. So you're basically going to be plague doctoring around.
Yeah, maybe I'll hear a few things and people will tell me stuff. You can trust the doctor,
Yeah, Janian will probably be focusing more on surveillance, watching from our, I'm going to call it an apartment, because that's what I'm picturing it as essentially.
Mhm.
And if there's a chance, maybe robes are being taken in, or a set gets left out on the line outside or something like that after being washed, I'll probably try and procure some robes for us.
Mhm. And Rick, what would you be doing?
I think I would really just be scouting out. I'm not that stealthy, but being in the house, I'd just be watching whatever I could see. I don't know, see if I could see through the windows and see, like, if there's a specific time and day they will gather in one room or something, or
Again, that's the
just
product of my using a pre-existing map, but there are no windows. Windows are very rare in the city.
I swear he says this every time he describes a building, guys. Come on.
Okay.
You're forgetting that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, when you see them there, of course, you assume they're there, which, I mean, I'm not getting mad over it.
I mean, just saying that that is a lot of fucking windows for one mansion.
It is. Okay, what I think we're going to do is I think we're going to go ahead and end this session about 30 minutes early here. And that's going to give me a chance to write up some more interactions and figure out interactions between people and parties. I've got a decent idea, but I can flesh it out a bit more, and so I think I would like to do so. So
Sounds good.
If there are no objections, I think I'm going to call it here now.
Sounds like a plan.
That was cool.
Okie dokie. Not a bad session, I thought.
No.
We
Not
got some
that
good
bad, not that
RP
bad.
in, and we all got a good, nice power boost with our level and with buying stuff.
We got a pretty big power boost.
That's a good way to say
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see how this next session works out.
I Javelin Lightning. It was a necessary upgrade.
A necessary upgrade. All right. A special thank you to all the folks who have been watching. I certainly appreciate you coming and hanging out with us for a little bit. I hope you all have a great day, and peace out, guys.
Take it easy, y'all.
Peace.
Bye.